Hello and welcome to another episode of You Can't Scare Me. And on this episode, we're doing episode number 4. And before we get started with anything, I just want to say, I was like messing around. I went into my closet. I was like doing some cleaning, and I found this camera.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, this is a weird camera. And, you know, I just took a picture of Rachel. And
Sure, yeah.
so the picture, there's nothing in it. Like where she was standing, it's just in the picture, she's not there. Then, you know, today rolls around and we're about to start the podcast and she is gone. Like,
What?
I don't know where she went.
What?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
I could tear up the photo because that might release her.
In about 2 hours.
Hey guys, welcome. We're being cutesy about it, but Rachel is not going to be joining us for this episode. I'm super bummed about it. You're super bummed about it. We're all bummed about it. But we are here to talk about what is quintessentially the most unbummer Goosebumps episode ever. This shit right here is, I'm just going to say it right off the bat,
Fire?
the best Goosebumps book we have ever read. And we've read 3.
We've read 3. We've read 4 now. So
Okay, we are qualified to say this. This is good.
this is good book right here. This book is a good book.
This is good eating.
Good eating for your brain.
For your brain.
for your developing child brain.
So before we get started, Mario, did you want to set the stage?
Yes. Well, first of all, let me say this.
Yes.
Hi, it's me, Mario, the cool ghoul who's everybody's pal. And now that I've said that,
I wish I had a catchphrase.
I'd love to talk about the historical context of this, the historical context of this book,
Go for it.
but only as it applies to film and television and video games.
Okie dokie.
Okay, this book's Say Cheese and Die was published in November 1992. Okay, Monster Blood was published in September of 1992. So the window of time in which I did my historical data collating, is 2 months, right? Okay, so in October, all right, let's talk about what was in the cinema, October 1992. First of all, let's just lead with the winner here. It's Mighty Ducks, baby.
Oh, baby.
They're on ice. They're going to do the hockey. They're going to shoot that puck, and they're going to get the goals.
Spoken like someone who has not seen The Mighty Ducks.
I have watched it.
Didn't they did like the quack. What was it? I remember
they did the flying V.
The flying V
was
is
their,
obviously.
but they do the quack, quack, quack.
Quack, 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 no!
I think. I seem to remember that, or I've imagined it, but it would be a better movie if they did. Also in 1992 October, okay, Glenn Ross. So get your coffee is for closers. This is a big one for me. Candyman came out in October 1992.
Oh boy.
Fucking classic, folks. Excellent peak horror stuff here. Reservoir Dogs before the foot stuff started with Quentin Tarantino, so that's exciting.
Well, it may have already been there, but it didn't
Percolating.
get into it was percolating, yes.
Films of November, okay. I'll just start and just tell you The Bodyguard came out. Big deal movie. We all know I Will Always Love You. Great song. Everyone loves it. Coppola's Dracula came out, which means we get to think about for just like take a minute and think about Keanu Reeves doing a British accent and remember that. And we all enjoyed that.
It's very good.
I've seen many strange things already. Bloody wolves chasing me through some blue inferno.
Aladdin, highest grossing film of the year.
Woo!
Woo! And a little film called Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Oh my god. Which has a different meaning when you watch it now, but yes.
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
Certain scenes have different context.
TV October, Cartoon Network's founded, okay? X-Men premiered on October 31st. We've talked about X-Men in the 1992 thing before, I believe, but it premiered on October 31st.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Ghost Rider premiered on October 4th of 1992.
I have not thought of the show Ghost Rider until just now, from when I watched it until right now when you mentioned it. You have unlocked a memory in my brain.
I don't think I ever watched a full episode of Ghost Rider in my entire life, but it was always there. It was a show. You know how it was when you'd be watching TV and then you're like, probably you're a kid, you can't do anything else. Everything's boring. So like you're watching TV and then Ghost Rider comes on and you're like, no, this is too boring even for me. Like I can't do this. Like I can't do this. I'm gonna go like look at a puzzle or something. Like,
dude, yeah, 100%. Like there's a reason why it was locked away in my brain in a closet, and that memory has a bunch of dust on it. Like I don't think it was that good. I don't think it was worth remembering.
I'd like to note that nothing premiered on television in November of 1992. However, Nick Arcade did end, so that's a sad day.
Oh.
Video games, November 21st of 1992.
They happened.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
First appearance of Tails, Miles Tails per hour. I feel like we talked about Night Trap and Mortal Kombat, but they both came out in October of 1992. I would also like to note the top video game rentals in November.
Wow.
For the NES, where it was Adventure Island 3. Don't know what that is.
No.
Sega Genesis had NFL Sports Talk Football 93, but the SNES had Street Fighter 2.
Oh man.
Top rental for like 3 months,
dude,
in 1992. Like
I remember playing against the AI and the CPU and just losing over and over as a kid and just being like, what? I guess this is the game.
Yeah, I remember when I got that for my home, for ownership, I was like, whoa, this is a big deal. It was a big moment in my life because it unlocked an obsession with 2D fighters that has persisted. Also, Bill Clinton was elected in November of 1992. I don't know if that matters or not, historically speaking, but it is true.
Historically speaking? I mean...
Historically speaking.
I guess.
Is he more or less important than M. Bison?
Less.
Thank you. I agree.
Asked and answered.
Yes, asked and answered.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So, if that's it for the historical roundup,
no other history happened in the intervening 2 months.
Nothing of note. Who cares?
Yep.
Moving on. We have our second section, which is our 3-sentence summary. Mario, you have done a lot so far, and I'm asking you to do a little bit more. Hit us with that 3-sentence summary of Goosebumps, chapter or episode 4, Say Cheese and Die.
Okay. All right. Let me think about this. Okay.
Fuck us up.
All right. So Greg and his 3 friends go into a spooky old house and find a camera. The camera predicts the future, but bad. Okay. Hijinks ensue?
There you go. Yep.
Like, is that I feel like that's it. Like,
there are a few more specifics in there, but that's the gist. You got it.
That's the whole story.
Nailed it.
Like,
it's like simple, but like that's what makes for a great Goosebumps book.
I was just gonna say, it's like the thing that separates this from Monster Blood in direct contrast is that like this has one idea. It's just the one idea the whole time.
Yep.
And the idea is very clear. And you can do a lot with it. You can take a bunch of photos and you can keep doing new things with photos.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like try to complicate the photos, you know?
Yeah, and the magic system is like pretty fucking simple up until it gets kind of, fucked
up
with
until the end when it
when it becomes incredibly funny. But it's not like, it's also the other thing that happens with this book is, unlike Monster Blood, not only does it set up a premise for Say Cheese and Die, which is, the cover is that, which we've got to talk about the covers.
We got to talk, yes.
The fact that it sets up this idea, and the summary of the book actually sets up the idea that, like, there is a camera. It predicts the future, but badly.
Yeah.
And it's wrong and awful and bad. But right at the beginning of the book, guess what we're doing? We're finding that fucking camera within like a couple chapters, and shit happens.
I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Compared to Monster Blood, Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Jovial Bob or Jesus-eal Bob Stein. You are our savior.
Thank you, whatever, like, the Holy Spirit done come down and guided R.L. Stein's pen to write a book where the events that matter happen in the first 2 chapters.
It's such a breath of fresh air. But we need to talk about the covers, okay?
Yes.
Let's talk about
please.
them covers.
Can we talk about the covers? I've been down to talk about the covers.
Absolutely, we need to talk about the covers. Let's start with the main cover, the 1992 cover of
Tim Jacobus's
Jacobus's
classic work.
So this cover is the main color is red. So the Goosebumps lettering is red. You got a little light blue underneath. That's the kind of two-tone, the wonderful Goosebumpsian like two-tone cover.
Well, yeah, because it's like you've got the So go on. Sorry, you describe it, and then the two-tone thing is interesting. I was gonna say.
Yeah, absolutely. Mainly because it's red, so it kind of looks like blood, y'all.
A little bit. It's a little threatening, huh?
Yeah. This is one of those books where it's like, oh boy. I think they actually changed the cover they totally did. In the reprint, the 2003 reprint, the color, the dual tone is blue and the lettering is orange.
Oh.
So they changed it. So I guess they don't like that blood.
That's so weird. That's such a weird change. Like it has to be red. Like it just needs to be red.
Yeah. Die. This book.
It has die on the cover. Yeah, it says literally die.
Die. Say cheese and die. It's got an exclamation mark in it, by the way. Say cheese and die, exclamation mark.
To quote R.L. Stine, say cheese and die.
Our classic Goosebumps story is called Say Cheese and Die.
Say cheese and die. But yeah, so the cover is a Polaroid, a wonderful little Polaroid of a picture of a family barbecue. We've got the 2 kids, the girl and the boy. We've got the mom and the dad. The dad's got a little chef thing, but there's that weird thing that's different about everything. There's skeletons, and it's amazing.
This looks like a great party, first of all.
I've never had like a traditional family barbecue like this, but this looks like it is the best. Especially if you're a skeleton while you're doing all this stuff.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, I think anyone would be lucky to participate in a party exactly like this as a skeleton.
It's very good that the ladies in this shot have kept their hair. So they're skeletons with like long flowing hair. It's very funny to me.
Yes. I also literally just now noticed, despite knowing ahead of time that was the case, that the skeleton in the blue tank top is a lady skeleton because of the ponytail. I thought it was her arm the entire time, and it was just a dude with a huge pompadour. But the thing is, that makes even less sense because there's not a sister in this book.
There's no sister, so the cover is wrong.
Yeah, but there's something to that.
Yes. What is it?
Well, you know what it. I mean, I think I know. I assume this to be true. I don't know this for a fact. I assume that Tim Jacobus, as usual, did not know anything about this book whatsoever except the title, and drew just an amazing off-the-cuff drawing of what he thought that would be about.
100%.
And the thing is, I mean, we'll get to it, but this does appear in the book.
Yes, it does.
But not as much as you would think it would.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but be prepared for that. That discussion is going to be great. But yeah, so that was the American cover.
So good, chef's kiss, excellent cover. Like if I were a child and I was looking for a book to read, right, and I saw this on the bookshelf, instantly I would want to buy this book. Instantly.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I mean, so many of the Goosebumps books are just good, like, works of art.
Yeah.
And it's when they're on the shelf, it's just like, it's such a small book, such a small time commitment. And I said it before in episode 1 where these really feel like trading cards.
Yeah.
It's like you see them there and it's just like, I need to have this.
Yeah.
Even if I don't read it all the way, even if it's just on my shelf, I feel like
I need this.
I need it. It's just a good the whole package is just good.
Holistically, it's great. Yeah.
So, are there some other covers that we should talk
okay.
about?
So let's talk about most directly, right? The classic Goosebumps reprint, right? Because we talked about this last time,
Yes.
where the way these have changed. So the reprint, the classic Goosebumps version, depicts a camera on the ground in the hands of someone who appears to be maybe deceased, and in the viewfinder of that camera, or in the lens, is a skeleton. Okay, is a skull.
It is a skull. It is just lying on the ground.
I think it's fine. I think the cover is fine. I don't think it's nearly as evocative as the original.
It's muddier. It doesn't communicate what's happening directly or as cleanly as the original version.
Well, it also implies that the camera user has died, which is not what the title implies.
The title is all about taking pictures and then the person in the picture. That's why the original cover is so good, because it's a frame of a frame. It's like
yes. I was going to say the two-tone background. It's actually the table or wall that the photo is being laid on,
right?
Because you are definitively looking at a picture that someone has taken and it's skeletons. It communicates everything you need to know immediately. It just works. Shit works like that. It's just damn, I got it. I got it.
And then the new one is just I don't. All the new ones, man, they're just
lacking that spark.
Yeah.
So, but moving internationally, right? Jumping across the pond, as it were. I talked about Japanese covers before. Monster Blood didn't have a particularly good one, and Dumb didn't have one at all. But Seichi's and Dai.
Oh my god.
Cursed Camera is what it's actually called in Japanese. Is excellent. I love this this cover. I think this cover is great. Yet again, it's like you're looking at a camera viewfinder, right? Mm-hmm. But it's 3 skeletons, so more accurate to the actual book itself. Mm-hmm. And the skeletons are loving it. There's a skeleton up front giving a peace sign in the camera. It's amazing. I love it.
It's so good. And the skeletons have personality too.
It's so wild, because even the dad in the background holding the stake, you're like, this is such big dad energy coming off this person.
I know. And the kid in the front is so clearly a kid.
Yeah.
Kind of sort of photobombing what would be a traditional photo.
Yeah.
Of this, but they're all skeletons, and it's so well done. And I love the viewfinder angle.
Yes.
The developed Polaroid it's definitely more in line with the actual story. But if this story, Jovial Bob, if you're listening, updating some of these stories to be more in line with the stuff that happens today, cell phones, smartphones and all that shit, this one would work really well. Doing a live feed where it's just and then you could have your friends being like, oh, that's just a Snapchat filter, but then
yeah, actually that's true. This is an easy story to keep. The thing, again, this goes back to why the story is excellent. It's this story, you could easily tell it set 10 years in the future, 20 years in the future, and you could still be something there, right?
Yeah.
This just works.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about the Korean cover, please? Can we talk about the Korean?
All right, let's talk about the Korean cover.
It's it's a camera producing a Polaroid, right?
Yep.
So that's good. But instead of showing a skeleton or an event, it just shows a ghost screaming.
Distorting their entire face, nothing but white in their eyes, hands to Home Alone,
Home Aloneing it,
but their teeth are all gnarled, and their mouth is just in this elongated O, and these covers, man, they're so.
People were having fun with this. Sweden. I don't know what's going on in Sweden's cover, except that, the camera is a face, for one thing.
The bulbs, there's usually only one bulb, but in this case, there are 2 bulbs at the top left and top right corner, and
the lens is a big old nose, and it's popping photos out of its mouth.
Yeah, it's
First of all, the camera is sitting in a puddle of melted cheese.
Yes, very delicious.
I don't know why that's there.
Yeah, everything's melting into it, and it's very odd.
But people were really were bored in the slopes of this one. This is good.
Now, there's one that's actually legitimately frightening. Like, I can't imagine kids not wanting to buy the book because of the Italian cover.
The Italian cover?
It's a really, really well done. Like, the Polaroids is super gritty. Like, they even rendered like fingerprints on the Polaroid, like a dusty fingerprint.
Yeah.
And it's just this crazy looking, really well drawn skull with red glowing eyes, and it's just
like you got jump scared by a skull on this cover. Like,
yeah, it's so good. It's really, really good. Like, they're all doing different things, and some are having more fun with it than others. But like, what is going on, y'all? Like,
everyone understood the assignment completely in this one.
Oh man, and this Dutch one, holy shit.
The Dutch one, I mean, it works, but like,
I don't know about this one now that I think about it, because this reads as more of like this is more of like a Hardy Boys cover.
It does look like a Hardy Boys story to me. Yeah, this looks like it's just a kid sitting on some stairs, a girl taking a photo, so that does not happen in this book at all.
Right.
And then in the top corner is it looks like I'm looking at a window even.
Yeah.
Of this kid on the stairs, but he's like lying down and there's some blood by his mouth. It doesn't really pop.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't read, yeah.
The Dutch cover, A for effort, I guess.
I guess. Also, I have to say, like, the Portuguese cover, and I think there was another cover that did this, but I can't find it right now. But at the very least, the Portuguese cover just did a horizontal flip of the original cover.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. Like, why did...
Well, you know how in some countries south of the equator, the toilet water goes the other way?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Some other countries, they just have to... All pictures come out opposite.
Oh, yeah. Like manga? You know how you read manga, like, opposite?
It's exactly like manga.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
They try to print it the other way, but it just comes out. It just comes out this way.
But, this is off subject, but I love Amazon reviews for manga. That's like,
boy.
oh, this was printed wrong. It's all opposite. It's all in reverse. How did they fuck up so badly? Anyway, I love that shit. Also, can we talk real quick, just really quick, about the French title?
I knew you were gonna bring this up
because it's great.
I love it. It's like, it's so weird. It's such a like, again, kid camera, okay, whatever. But the kid's like looking at you, the reader, like, get a load of this guy. And in the background is the nominal, I guess, sort of villain of this story.
Is that him? Is that who he who shall not be named yet?
Yeah, I think so.
He's wearing a suit.
I know. He doesn't look like a steampunk scientist at all.
There's like a red curtain behind this. It doesn't read like...
It doesn't indicate what this book is about.
It does not.
It's just like, okay, so at some point in this book, a child will point a camera at me, the reader, and an old man will appear and go, boog, boog, boo.
So the name is Dangerous Photos.
Dangerous Photos, yeah.
Dangerous Photos.
Dangerous Photos, you know. That sounds like the name of a made-for-TV thriller.
Yeah, 100%. So before we get on to everything, to the main event, I just wanted to quickly say regarding the title of Say Cheese and Die that I learned that the title for Say Cheese and Die came from a thinking or a, what is it called? A brainstorming session.
Okay.
With R.L. Stine, where he was trying to write like names for this book, and on a whim, at the very end of it, he decided, I'm just going to write a joke title in here, and that joke title was Say Cheese and Die.
Do you think Dangerous Photos was one of the originals?
Absolutely, 100%, 100%, absolutely. Dangerous Photos. It's just great to know that R.L. Stine was struggling with this and then just decided to say fuck. Actually, that's an interesting point too, because I read that Tim Jacobus also this was the first book in the Goosebumps line of books when he was drawing the cover, where he realized that Goosebumps isn't serious, like trying to scare kids. It's like a mixture of comedy and like spooks.
Interesting. That does explain some things.
I know, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it is like a goofier cover. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, let's get to the main event and let's talk about the plot of Say cheese and die.
Can I also... Okay, so I have to say this to begin with.
Yes.
I listened to the audiobook of this
Same.
because I'm trying a new style where I don't spend like 20 hours reading a children's book.
Yeah, good call.
The audiobook narrator for this book, Johnny Heller is his name. Okay, and I will say this first of all, he's much better than the previous narrator.
Yes.
But he sounds exactly like Hollywood actor Hector Elizondo.
Oh, that must have been why I was okay. Yeah.
He sounds exactly like Hector Elizondo. It's bizarre to me.
I got to do an analysis like in post. I'll inject it here where I'll just play Hector Elizondo and then what's the name of the this guy? I forget his name.
Johnny Heller.
Johnny Heller.
Hello, I'm Hector Elizondo. You're watching Storyline Online, brought to you by the Screen Actors Guild Foundation and Book Pals. Today I'll be reading something special. A very special story and a favorite of my granddaughter, when she was smaller, of course. Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch, is the story today. Scholastic Audio presents Say Cheese and Die, a Goosebumps classic story by R.L. Stine. Read by Johnny Heller.
So I kept getting very distracted by that and thinking, did they get fucking Hector Elizondo to do this? But anyway, yes. Let us... I think that R.L. Stine in the opening of this audiobook might be the most excited R.L. Stine has been ever in his life.
He's ready.
He really got into like introducing this book.
He's good to go. Alrighty. Let's talk about the intro to Say Cheese and Die, chapter 1.
Okay.
And we immediately start off with some puns, and I hate it.
Pitt's Landing is where it takes place.
Pitt's Landing, and Pitt's Landing is the pits.
It's the pits. I will say you can tell this is an early Goosebumps book because there are 4 kids in this story.
Yes.
And I think that after this, R.L. Stine definitely thought to himself, Jovial Bob, definitely thought, that's too many. That's too many kids.
I have to remember all these damn kids' names. Damn it. Yeah, this feels right in line with like the Welcome to Dead House stuff where it was just a bunch of kids doing shit. But that's the thing. I like that. I like a group of kids like doing shit, getting up to shit.
You like a group of kids, but I do feel like it could have been 3 instead of 4.
Yes. Well, there is a reason why one of them is tragically cut in the TV show.
Yes. Yes. They are in order of importance. Greg Banks, our main character, Sherry Walker, his neighbor, Doug Arthur, who sucks, and Michael Warder, who I have a note is wearing denim cutoffs.
Oh, so a male character actually got a clothing description.
We get a lot of description very early in this book.
The only ones that I remember are when Jovial Bob starts talking about what Sherry's wearing.
The same thing that the girl that Andy is wearing in Monster Blood. The exact same clothes.
The exact same clothes. It's so great.
Sherry has black hair. She is wearing a oversized yellow sweatshirt and bright green leggings. This is almost the exact fucking same thing as in the last book.
Yeah, it's just yellow, I think, right?
Was this in 1982? Was this fashion?
I guess.
But yes, they hate Pitt's Landing, the 4 of them. It's the pits. It's very boring.
Also, just going to say, if this book was for teenagers, Pitt's Landing is the pits. It can be communicated in so many different ways. Let's try a few on for size. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Shit's Landing.
Yep, Shit's Landing. There you go. Yeah.
Piss Landing.
Oh, good one.
Okay, there we go. Just saying.
Poots Landing, if you want to be like nice about it. I would like to note that R.L. Stine does say that it's not that different from a lot of small towns.
Right.
Which I think is a nice touch.
Yeah, and this is why I'm like, this would help for... I think this needs to be considered when you write your patented review.
True.
Because this aspect, especially at the beginning of this book, where it's just a bunch of kids and they're bored as fuck. They're bored to tears. I think we can all relate.
Yeah.
To just being a kid and just not having a damn thing to do.
True. I mean, I think that of the places in this book, I do think that Pitt's Landing has felt the most like a place where you might actually live.
Yes.
Thus far.
And a pretty realistic family once we get back to Greg's
Oh, yeah, by
house.
far. This is like, we'll get to it, but like by a long shot.
Yes.
I also want to know, so there's 4 kids, and we've been through them, but Doug Arthur is nicknamed Bird. For the rest of the book, he will be referred to as Bird.
Yes.
Because he, quote unquote, looks like a bird. Okay.
Not going further into that one.
He's got long legs, and he doesn't brush his hair, and he has bird-like brown eyes. I don't know.
And he has a
that.
bird-like nose.
Whatever.
Yep.
Not the meanest thing that anyone will say in this book.
No. Still, kind of weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
Also, not the first time in a Goosebumps book where someone will be nicknamed Bird, which is interesting.
Interesting. So the kids are debating about going to Grover's comic shop, but they don't like Grover because he's a jerk, because he wants them to pay for the comic books instead of just reading them. Which, I mean...
I love the quote that happens numerous times here. I think Bird says it, or no, I think it's either Greg or Michael who says, "We don't have any money." Just numerous times. We don't have any money, Bird.
Bird. They want to go pick up the new issue of X-Force.
Yes.
Specifically X-Force.
Yeah.
I love that that's mentioned because 1, X-Force was quite popular in the 90s. But 2, I checked what would be released in November 1992. It would be Executioner's Song Part 4.
Hey.
Was the issue being released that month.
Cool.
Then they say, you should join the X-Force. You can be Birdman. Which unfortunately set in motion a chain reaction of me envisioning how Harvey Birdman could be slotted into this book.
Birdman.
We should all join the X-Force, say then add.
Oh, man. Now I just have Harvey Birdman, attorney at law's.
There's another part where I thought about it immediately, and I'll mention it.
See, I thought, Birdman and Space Ghost are kind of tied together because of a few funny episodes of Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Mm-hmm. So that's why I thought it was funny to mention we don't have any money, because there is a quote from Space Ghost where he's like, he goes into a shop and he's like, I would like some stamps, please. And the teller goes, "That'll be 55 cents. And Space Ghost goes, "I don't have any money." And then the scene just ends. It's great.
They say we should all join the X-Force, which of course, all right,
Sure.
Even allowing for that, they add, "There's no crime to fight in Pitt's Landing." And Bird says, "We could fight crabgrass."
Oh my God, he is such a jokester. He is the real jokester of the group.
Yes. So this is the thing. All right. So we will establish now that Bird is always going to be the guy making jokes.
Yes.
Almost universally, they suck, but this one's okay.
Oh, you like the crabgrass joke?
I think the crabgrass joke is. I think that it's because of the way that our narrator delivers it more than anything. I think that it's fine. Okay. I think they get worse from here.
I think that is an R.L. Stine joke coming through a 12-year-old.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely yes. 100%. R.L. Stine started off writing joke books. So
yeah, but like crabgrass is such a weird specific. You can fix it by just saying what would we fight? Grass? Like,
yeah, I mean,
crabgrass? Whatever. Anyway,
fair enough. I mean, I don't know that I think it's a good joke for a child to make, but right, I think that it's a fine joke.
It's a fine joke.
So Greg and Sherry live next door to each other, and their parents are friends, and the others live down the street. So that's why these 4 kids are hanging out. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Bird wants to play baseball, but Sherry does not want to do that. And who can blame her? I really can't blame her for that.
Dude, what kid would want to play baseball in this town after what happens to Bird later on?
True. The fucking signups have got to drop off exponentially.
Also, we need to talk about, were the kids wearing? We'll get to it. I'll save my. I'm sorry. I keep getting ahead of myself in these things. But we need to talk about I think it was Michael that R.L. Stine was describing here.
That's just my next point.
Okay, there you go.
It's about Michael.
Okay, let's talk about it. Come on.
So let's start. Okay, so let's start with the nice stuff. All right.
Okay.
The just bare bones facts. Michael has short red hair. He has blue eyes, and he has freckles.
Yes.
That's the bare facts. These are facts about Michael.
So far, so good.
The next fact and this is a direct quote, he wasn't exactly fat, but no one would ever call him skinny. Well,
Here we go.
Okay.
God. I love that R.L. Stine just has like an easy joke for kids, and it's just like, hey, there's a fat one here.
What if one of the kids was fat? I mean, it's, BK Kids Club. We need somebody who's not a white person. A white skinny dude, so I guess we'll have one girl and one fat kid. Like,
that's differentiation enough.
he also describes Michael's chubby fingers at one point in this section.
Yeah.
Come on,
fuck?
RL, come on.
Why? Oh my god.
So Bird wants to play baseball because he's starting fall little league, and Sherry apparently has noted that her hobby is making fun of Bird, which is fine. It's a fine hobby.
Yeah, it's a good profession.
Michael makes a joke which apparently is bad. It's a baseball joke that I didn't get.
Oh, which one?
He says that Bird would be playing some position, and it's like, yeah, you'd be playing fucking moron, scummy.
Yeah, I think I remember that one.
Playing shit baseball player position.
Play dumbass at position in baseball. Idiot. Fucking doofus.
Fucking doofus. More descriptions. This chapter is like all descriptions. Greg's blonde. He's good looking. He looks like Ryan Gosling. Would you believe if Ryan Gosling were younger?
Oh, interesting.
Weird.
Wow.
Interesting.
I wonder what Ryan Gosling was doing. Like,
I wonder what he was doing in like 1996.
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't come up. So Greg's brother apparently forgot to sign him up for baseball. His brother's name is Terry. I just kept thinking of Terry Bogard. So for the rest of the book, he was Terry Bogard in my brain.
That fits in a couple places.
It does. Hey, Greg, are you okay? Sherry has a crush on Terry, apparently.
Because their names are so similar.
Terry works at the Dairy Freeze. Yeah.
Not the Dairy Queen. Do not get it confused with Dairy Queen. It's Dairy Freeze. Get it right.
Different things.
Different.
And apparently Terry is a straight arrow, and so he will not give them any free ice cream.
Which, I gotta say, kind of doesn't line up with at least how he's depicted on the show. But
the show Terry is very different from book Terry. I have to say
the show
this.
Terry fucking smokes weed. Like,
oh my god, yes. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Like, he is high the entire episode.
There is a line delivery which could only be said by someone who is high. Like, Bird says so. I don't know who says this. Someone says it's boring standing around talking about how bored we are.
Yeah.
And Bird says we could sit down and talk about how bored we are.
Hey, that's a good joke. I'll accept it. Yeah.
This seems like it's not important, and ultimately it's not. But a cocker spaniel just like appears.
Yeah.
And licks. Like it's not important at all. But it sets up one of the dumber things in this book that happens in about 4 pages.
It's a setup payoff that sets it up like maybe a few paragraphs before it pays off.
And the thing is, it wouldn't even be hard to make this work because thus far, 2 out of 3 books we've read, they've had a dog.
Yeah.
You could just give one of them a dog. It would not be that hard.
Yeah.
Remove Michael and replace him with a dog. He could be a fat dog.
You get the same jokes out of him. Also, he really doesn't do anything, so.
Nope. So we then walk around the town for a while. It's very boring. But then they come to what is very obviously a haunted house. Like,
yep.
Has an overgrown lawn. It's got shingles and a wraparound porch. It's got a chimney. It's a very nice house, but apparently it's been run down for a while. It's got broken windows. The shutters are hanging off. This is the Kaufman house.
The Kaufman house. Now, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
In terms of relatability, how relatable
I was going to say,
is a haunted house in your neighborhood to you?
I think it's super relatable. I think this is very relatable. I think every small town has one of these houses.
Yeah, we didn't have a haunted house. We didn't have like an abandoned house or anything in my neighborhood. So it's not super relatable to me, but like, yeah, I was just curious if like you had that experience.
No, I definitely did. I definitely have had this kind of like this place, you know. I think this is one of the more relatable things. I guess even if it's not in every town, this idea is so common, like that it doesn't feel like a reach. And then the kids decide that they want to go inside the house because that's what children do in media. But before they can do that, a dark form emerges from the grass and attacks Greg.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
It's a monster. It must be the monster blood from the previous book.
Chapter 2, it's a fucking Cocker Spaniel we just met. God damn it.
God damn it. Fucking Jovial Bob, son of a bitch.
The narrator in the audiobook has an amazing scream at this point.
Yes.
I was like, we've talked about like narrators doing bad screams. Not so for not Hector Elizondo. He attempts an actual scream. It's not loud, but it is an actual like scream.
Greg toppled backward onto the ground. Ah! He screamed.
And it's not just reading the word ah out loud.
Or going ah! Like that the guy from Monster Blood kept doing, where he was just like indoor yelling. It was like,
and then the dog just fucks off.
Yep, the dog just shows up, scares him, runs off. Which, by the way, if you are a fan of these cheesy cheesy jump scares at the ends of chapters, the jump scares are about to get way more like legit.
Yes, this book is interesting because they are actual page turners.
Yeah. Like an actual honest to God cliffhangers, not bullshit like, oh no, a dark force jumped on my head next chapter. It was a cat.
It's a wild leap in what Goosebumps can be,
right?
In this book, I would say.
It's an interesting way to start it off because it sets you up for that expectation of like,
it does.
God, here we go again.
Yeah, my first thought was, oh fucking boy. So Greg doesn't want to go in the house because he's the sensible one. That's his character trait. Bird calls him a chicken, and then they do the literal Arrested Development chicken scene verbatim. Like they all do individualized chicken dances for a while.
You're even scared to ask a girl out on a date.
Why does everybody think that I'm scared of girls?
Because you're a chicken. You're a chicken. Cuckoo-ca-cha! Cuckoo-ca-cha!
What are you doing?
Michael and women? A coodle-doo. That's what I was just telling him.
Look, I haven't found the right girl. When I do, I will ask her out. Has anyone in this family ever even seen a chicken?
Cha, chi-cha, chi-cha.
Chi-cha, chi-cha. Caw-caw-caw! They find out that the front window is broken, so they just like can just open the door if they want to.
They just reach their hand in and open it.
We then reference that we introduce a character that will be important later, which is Spidey. Spidey, who is a weird man who is most likely homeless or a drifter, and he creeps around town. He lurks around town specifically on long, slender legs, and he dresses entirely in black, and that's why they call him a spider. But he mostly lives around the Kaufman house, which is, I would take that as a message to not go in this house.
Yeah.
But instead we do. So what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. If anything, like, you know, it's funny to talk about like morals or like takeaways from Goosebumps books. But if you're going to take away anything as a kid from Say Cheese and Die, it's, hey, if there's a house and it looks spooky and you want to go in, don't.
I would say another good lesson is if you go into a house, if you know a homeless person is living in a place, right?
Yeah.
Maybe don't go through their shit. Like, leave their shit alone.
Yeah, just fucking leave them alone. Like, what do you?
Just leave them alone for a while.
It's just, Jesus, you shitty fucking kid.
The house is very old and creepy,
as you do. Lots
of dust, lots of squeaky floorboards. Mm-hmm. There's a stain on the living room carpet, which Bird suggests is blood. It's all very cool. There are some mice, which Michael thinks are rats, and Greg tells him he's an idiot. and all the cabinets are empty and in the kitchen. And Greg says, "Well, I didn't think Spidey was a gourmet chef." Man, fucking Greg, shut up!
Shut the fuck up!
Shut the fuck up, Greg. And so there's not much to see in it unless you get a thrill from dust balls.
Jokester.
Hilarious. Bird has disappeared in the basement because I guess he wants to die. And he begins screaming from the basement, "Help, it's got me." And the narrator does a great job of that one as well, I have to say.
From somewhere deep in the basement, his voice floated up to them in a horrified scream. "Help, it's got me! Somebody, please help! It's got me!
Help, it's got me!
Help, it's got me! It's got me!" This feels like a Stay Out of the Basement callback right there. Like, to me,
Yep.
this is like exactly what happens in Stay Out of the Basement.
Yep. Like, there may as well be a plant down there that's wrapped its, like, tentacle around, like, his leg or some shit.
Yeah, yes. That's the cliffhanger for this chapter. It's not quite a fake out. I mean, ultimately, spoilers, Bird is fine.
He's the jokester of the group.
He's a funny guy, this Bird. It's very funny. It's a very funny thing that he does.
So when he reveals that he was just fucking around, it's super funny and everybody has a great time and laughs.
Everyone thought it was great. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Wow, great joke, Bird. You're our best friend and we love having you around."
You're a great friend and we love having you around. Oh, man.
Sherry reminds Bird of The Boy Who Cried Wolf, which you might think would be the moral of the story.
Maybe.
It is not.
Nope.
In no way does Bird's action at this moment come back to him at all.
There's the setup and no payoff.
We don't do that. Don't do that.
Nothing.
There's like a dirty mattress down here, which is...
Yeah.
Okay, just leave.
Why?
A bunch of
Yeah. Oh, you're about to talk about the Hungry Man dinners.
The pizza boxes. Yeah, the Hungry Man dinners. Yes.
Which I have to say, a quote, "Hey, a Hungry Man dinner. Where does Spidey heat these up? Maybe he eats them frozen, like popsicles," says Sherry.
Yeah.
Sherry, what the fuck are you talking about?
Sherry, come on, man.
Sherry.
Where does he heat these up? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Where does anybody do anything?
Why are we here? Why are we in this person's personal space?
Like, who cares?
Let's fucking leave.
And then they do yet more because they open a closet and start pulling out a bunch of clothes from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, and just putting shit on. Don't put this fucking clothes on. Are you kidding me, guys? Like, this is so gross. This is so gross.
Although it does lead to an incredible line. "Check out this bad hat."
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Check out this bad hat. Fuck.
Oh, the narrator's voice acting here is just
Excellent. I mean, again, he's so good.
incredible.
"Check out this bad hat," Sherry said.
He's going wide with it. They're just doing this for a while. Greg observes that there's stairs leading outside an exit. This is important.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like just digging around, and he finds a tool table or a work table with a vice grip on it, and he tightens the vice grip's handle, and that reveals a hidden cabinet which contains a camera.
Oh my god. So, it's the camera.
It's the camera. The camera.
The eponymous or titular.
The camera. the killer camera.
We need to talk about that because this camera, I looked it up on the wiki.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a name. It's just the camera. But then in some other notes, some people call it the evil camera.
It is evil.
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, no, it's evil.
Evil implies whatever. We'll talk about it when it comes to it. But
I would like to say the classic Goosebumps reprint contains a splat stats page for the camera.
Oh yes,
which rates its strength as 8 out of 10. Its intelligence as 3 out of 10.
Oh,
which okay.
Yeah, all right.
It's speed 2 of 10. Its attack skills 7 of 10. Its humor 1 out of 10.
Not very funny.
Which it's a camera. It's a whatever, and it's evil. 10 out of 10.
Oh, so
it's
evil.
Very evil. So okay, I also want to stress right now for future reference, it appears to me in this book the camera is just a camera.
Right.
The impression I got is it's just a normal camera.
Like a Polaroid.
Like a Polaroid. You can't say Polaroid, but it is a Polaroid camera, basically.
Yeah. It's hard to talk about like that kind of camera without saying like it is a Polaroid, because we always think of like, you know, when someone takes a picture with self-developing film, that is a quote unquote Polaroid, you know,
except it is proprietary. So
yeah, exactly. So
Joey Bob could not say that.
Yeah, no. And that's why I'm saying like, I appreciate the struggle, Jovial Bob. That must've been hard.
He tries hard to explain what the camera is doing. So Greg's like a camera guy, apparently.
Yeah.
He's interested in camera, and he has an inexpensive one. But he wants an expensive one with lots of lenses. And he daydreams about traveling the world and becoming a famous photographer. So,
which, hey man, that's so cool to be a kid that age. Which I don't. Are they ever described? Are their ages ever overtly stated?
No, they are not. They are not.
So they're 12.
They're 12. They're definitely 12, but they're not stated.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking for like, where does it say that they're 12? They're not saying that. But anyway, God knows they might be 13.
Oh my God.
But that's cool being at that age, like having a clear like, I want to do this. I like photography. I am going to focus on it. I'm going to learn about it. That's really fucking cool.
I like this.
And I will say, Greg, you are not saving up for a fucking lens with your allowance.
No, man. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
You're gonna be able to like
work at the dairy freeze. You're gonna have to get that dairy freeze job.
Yeah, for real. Man, lenses are not inexpensive. They are expensive as shit. They like, especially some of those antique ones. Holy shit! So that's why I can be like, I could totally understand from Greg's standpoint, where if you find an antique camera with like a really nice antique lens, those things are fucking fortunes.
So steal it.
Yeah, exactly. So fucking take it. Steal from Spidey. It's mine now.
Steal from a derelict. Like this is.
But that's one of the really cool things about old lenses is that they have like, I'm just going to go off real quick on a tiny little tangent, but old lenses are really cool because they don't really depreciate in value. They actually, because a lot of the camera systems can be adapted to work with modern systems, and even in some cases have the same like connections to make it so that you can use them on current cameras and video cameras, DSLRs and all those things. So if anything, they appreciate in value. And one of the a good tip that I got from a guy in California who I was working with on a shoot, which I'm a videographer. I work for an advertising agency over here in Northern Virginia, but he gave me this amazing piece of advice, which was don't buy a lens for a camera, buy a camera for a lens.
Ooh.
Keep your lenses because they will always like work, and you will always be able to use them because the standards are going to stay the same. Just appreciate, understand what their personalities are, and then. Like, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but
so the moral here is steal a fucking camera.
Steal that fucking shit. Steal it.
No regrets. Just fucking steal it.
No regrets. And the contraption that reveals it is interesting too.
I do think that's interesting.
It's clearly hidden. It's like in a little trap door.
Yeah. The TV show makes this a little more clear, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
About where this is. I was like, oh, okay, I understand. When I saw it on the TV show, there's like a secret lever, and it unlocks this little compartment which contains a camera. Which, it's like that's neat. That's a neat idea. It's cute.
Yeah, it belays a importance before understanding the extent of that importance of why this thing is special.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it. I just don't know about turning a C-clamp.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that.
I don't even. Yeah, why would a kid do that in the first place? But also, what? Whatever. I don't. Let's not belabor it too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was just odd.
We then turn. So Michael is now on top of some stairs, and he is wearing a white Stetson and 2 feather boas, which is just wild. And he starts like posing. And Greg is gonna take his photo. He strikes a quote unquote sophisticated pose, and Greg tells him say cheese, and Michael says cheddar, which literally everyone hates.
Fuck off. I literally have in my notes, fuck off.
Every single person in the book and in real life is like, oh, come on. The camera produces a Polaroid, basically. It's an automatically developing camera. But before Michael can come down, the railing breaks, and he goes to the edge. He screams, "No! No!" And then he hits the concrete basement floor, like, hard.
Yeah. Ow.
Like, ow. And he apparently has hurt his ankle. Greg rushes in to save him. Greg has done this twice now, like, rushed in to help his friend, so you know he's a good kid.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, someone is coming down the stairs. There's someone in the house. There's creaking.
Yeah, there's creaking boards upstairs, and they're like, oh, fuck, we gotta go.
Which, you want to talk about relatability. I liked this part.
Oh, yeah.
Because, true story, there was a day in grade school when I was playing, like, we were having like a water balloon fight in my neighborhood, or my friend's neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And we were like, the place we were using to fill up the balloons was the basement of his grandfather's house. And so we were down there filling up balloons, okay? Mm-hmm. And we heard someone walking around above us. And we were like, oh, is your grandfather home? And he's like, no, he's not home. I was like, I guess maybe someone went upstairs. So, like, we left, we came back, no one was there, and no one had been there. But there was a knife sitting on the kitchen table. Like,
what? Wow. Huh. What the fuck?
Yes.
Just a knife.
It was interesting.
Just
a knife was this out. Yeah, this out. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
I think you avoided an alternate...
Spidey.
Yeah, you avoided Spidey.
Shockingly, this creaking sound is not a fake out, and indeed, Spidey is coming down the stairs.
Yeah.
And they have to escape. But Michael can't move because his ankle's hurt. So they have to carry him out as a team.
Great job, kids.
And conveniently, the exit was established earlier by Greg. That was established that there is another exit. And so they're like, we have to pray the door isn't padlocked. And the kids are like, we're praying. But the doors won't open. This chapter is very short. Nothing much happens in it, but they push the doors and they won't open. I call this a cliffhanger. This happened, I forget which book this happened in. I think it's Stay Out of the Basement. Like, this exact thing happens.
Oh, where the creaking...
Where they push in the...
Oh,
they push and the door won't open.
Yeah.
Oh no! Fuck! It's Welcome to Dead House. They push on the tree and it won't fall over.
Yeah.
And they're like cliffhanger. And then the next chapter, they're just like, let's try harder, and it works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, okay, all right.
All right, that's a choice.
Perhaps subconsciously, Greg picks the camera up as they run out. Okay, and Michael has regained the ability to walk, so that's fine. Whatever. As they're leaving, as they escape, Bird shouts, "All right!" And then the narrator has an amazing delivery of it. Like,
all right, Bird cried happily as they reached the street. We made it.
All right. And they look back, and Spidey is just watching them from the living room window.
He knows.
Which is very spooky. Very spooky.
Very spooky. I'm spooked.
Yeah. Yes.
Surprised they didn't talk more about spider webs being in the...
Yeah.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah, you would think. Horrible fat joke.
Oh, love these.
Someone says, you could have been killed, to Michael, and Bird says, lucky thing you've got all that extra padding.
Ugh.
Just fucking awful.
In terms of relatability, yeah, I've had people say this shit to me. Fun. Love it every time. Super funny.
They discuss the fact they've been seen by Spidey, and they're like, he's definitely weird. Okay.
Okay, in what world does being watching the kids who are clearly in your shit
in your yeah, like
look, just staring at in what world does that make you weird?
I don't know. But they're like, we better stay away from that house again. And Bird's like, why? It's not his house. It's not your house either. Like, get the fuck
off.
Sherry at least says he doesn't want any trouble. He just wants to be left alone. And it's like, yeah, they should just fucking leave him alone, please.
Yeah.
like it's not hard.
It really isn't. It takes more effort to fuck around with him if you think about it.
If you think about it, Greg realizes he still has a camera, so he pulls the photo out, but something's wrong. Cliffhanger. And what's wrong with it, Bob?
Well, Mario, the thing that's wrong with it is the picture that he pulls out, that Greg pulls out, is a picture of, what was his name, Michael?
Yep.
Falling off the railing.
Indeed.
But if you remember, he took the picture before Michael fell off. So from this, we can deduce that this camera has a delayed shutter. So,
yes, we can deduce this now.
Yes.
I do think, okay, so both Michael and Sherry agree that Greg took the photo before he fell. Like, they were like, yes, you took it before I fell down.
Yes.
So they do think this is weird, except for Bird, who says that it's a good action shot and that that's just neat, which, okay.
Sure. All right.
And then he said, this is a good camera you stole, Greg.
Just laying it all out there. Just like, yep. Mm-hmm.
So everyone agrees that it's weird except for Bird, who makes fun of Michael having a goofy smile, which is like, come on, man.
Lay off.
They're so mean. He's so mean. So we get to what is one of my favorite scenes in this book. Greg gets home. There's a car in his driveway.
What kind of car?
It's a navy blue Taurus station wagon. Specifically.
What? There are so many specific like brand call outs in this
It's
book.
weird, right?
It's like, did they get a deal? Did Scholastic get a deal or something with like something? Whatever.
Like Taurus? Like X-Force, Taurus, Hungry Man. What?
What is happening? Okay.
It's a brand new car is the point, and it's got a sticker
brand
still
new
on it.
Car.
And Greg gets in there and he inhales deeply to get that new car smell. He's just
That's good shit.
and it smells so good, he says. I have in my notes, okay.
Yeah.
And then he says, what a great new car. I refuse to believe that any child on this earth has ever been excited about a blue Taurus station wagon.
Well, we don't know if their previous car was like a motorcycle.
Well, I mean, I would still be not excited. I'd be like, where'd the motorcycle go?
Yes.
He likes it so much he has to take a photo of it.
Has to
remember what it was like when it was totally new, which is weird. I mean, like, I think it's fine to take a photo of it. That's fine. But his like obsession with this car is very unusual.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there. Also, if you really want that posterity, like take the sticker off, man. Take that shit off so you can get the full like, yeah, it's yours now. You know. Anyway.
Greg goes inside, and smartly, he's like, I gotta hide this camera because my parents will definitely ask me where I got this camera, and I'll have to be like, I fucking stole it.
I fucking yanked it.
So he hides it in, this was weird, a secret headboard compartment on his bed?
Yeah.
Which, like, how big is your headboard?
Hey, some headboards are pretty fucking big.
It would have to be to fit a whole camera in there. Like,
yeah, especially the way that this camera is depicted in some other media. Yeah, this camera is a chonker.
Yeah.
We affectionately call this camera a chonker.
A chonker. Also, gotta tell you, Greg, if you're a 12-year-old kid and you got a secret headboard in your bed, your mom knows about that headboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your mom knows you can hide shit in there, and she checks it. Like,
every night. Like, pro tip for kids.
Every night.
If you have something secret that your parents bought, they probably know about it.
Pro tip, there is literally no way to hide anything from your parents when you are 12. So... I mean, I understand the desire to relatable, but you're not going to succeed. So Greg then looks at the picture he just took and shouts, "Oh no!" So yet another picture cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But what's the photo show?
The photo of their brand new Taurus is of that fucked up Taurus.
It's fucked up.
All like it's smashed. Specifically, it's described as having a like something hit the what was it, the driver's side?
Yes, driver's side.
Yeah, the driver's side. It's like caved in. It's like it clearly been in an accident.
It is totaled for sure. Totaled, no question.
Yes.
And Greg is like, well, that's weird. And he puts the car, the photo away, and then he checks the car again, as if he may have missed this. Like,
oh, I don't remember it being fucked up.
I don't remember being completely fucked. And he must now go down to have family dinner.
Yes.
At which time he says the car is awesome. Again, it's a station wagon.
Like, for real. Like, what? Why are you?
And Dad says, after dinner, I'm taking you all for a drive in the car. Dum, dum, dum.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you skipped over or you're about to talk about something that was weird, is when Terry was eating the chicken.
That's the next chapter.
Okay, all
next
right,
chapter.
all right.
Dinner is split into 2 chapters. It's so important.
The most important dinner.
Yes, go on. It's the first thing he says in this chapter. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Terry is. He's so happy with dinner. He's just like, oh man, Mom, you did a great job. This chicken's delicious. And the mom is like, what are you talking about, you idiot? It's veal. And he's like, oh, this veal is so good it tastes like chicken. Anyway, that's why
again,
the
Terry
dinner has 2
definitely
chapters.
on drugs.
Terry is high as fuck.
He is high during dinner. I need you to know that this is true.
Terry, what's that smell? Why? Oh, there must be a skunk outside or something.
They asked him how things are going at Dairy Freeze, and he's like, "Oh, we ran out of vanilla. People were really annoyed." You ran out of fucking vanilla?
How does an ice? Oh yeah, did you run out of ice cream too?
This is like there is a night I went to Panera Bread and they're like, we're out of bread. I was like, fucking no, you're not. Then you're not a restaurant.
Go to Dunkin' Donuts and there are no donuts. Oh, so you're just Dunkin'. What are you dunking?
Like you're Dunkin' now.
What are you dunking in that coffee?
So like, oh my God. I mean, you could just say, well, maybe people can get, they can get chocolate, they can get strawberry. But listen, a vanilla shake is a perfect thing. And I would also be annoyed if I couldn't get a vanilla shake. Like, I'd be pissed off.
There is a reason why it's called like vanilla WoW, like vanilla World of Warcraft, or something is described as vanilla. It's because that's default. It's the most basic of basics.
Yes.
So to not have your default
is fucked up, man. Like you can't make a fucking Blizzard because you ain't got vanilla.
What are you gonna make?
Or whatever Dairy Freeze calls it.
That.
Like whatever their proprietary not Blizzard is.
Oh my God. Now I'm thinking of Terry from Goosebumps holding a fucking Blizzard upside down, proving that it won't fall
now I'm
out.
thinking of Terry Bogard serving vanilla ice cream. Dad is like, okay, Dad wants to go on this fucking car ride so bad. And I get this because he is A, dad, and B, he bought this car.
Yeah, it's brand new. You want to take it out for a spin.
It's brand new. You want to take it out. But Greg is trying to get out of it because of the photo. And I think this is actually a pretty nice scene.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Greg does not at this time know the camera is cursed. But he does know the photo's fucked up.
Yeah.
And he says specifically, he's filled with a feeling he's never had before.
Mm.
And it's like, I would say his feeling is creeping dread.
Yeah, dread. Yeah, absolutely.
So he's just like keeps trying to say reasons why he can't do it. And the reasons in the book are good reasons. And so we'll highlight them now for the show version where they don't bother. So he says, I had plans with Michael tonight. And his dad's like, well, fucking cancel him. Which is okay. Then he says, I'm not feeling very well. But his mom gets like super concerned about that. And so now he feels uncomfortable because he made his mom upset. And then Terry's like, oh, are you going to eat your chicken?
It reaches over and just scarfs it down.
But his dad's like, oh, the car ride will make you less sick. Don't think that's exactly how that works, Dad.
No.
But again, Dad is like so committed to this idea.
You're getting in this car, which is funny because if your kid is saying, I'm not feeling so well, the last thing
I would be like, get out of my car.
You fucking get out of this car. I've had people vomit in my car. Guess what? That shit don't come out. That smell will stay.
This reminds me that, okay, I have too many stories about vomiting in cars, as I would say.
I've just got the one.
Not me personally, but like, I will say that there was a time that one of my roommates was driving my other roommate home from a bar. He was quite drunk, not the driver. And he was like, you cannot vomit in my car. So he pulled out his backpack and puked in it, which then became my backpack, interestingly enough. Because he never used it again. But my other friend on New Year's Eve was driving a girl home that he had only met on New Year's through friends, right? That they were, like his friend brought this girl to the New Year's Eve outing, was driving her home. She's super wasted. And she puked. He was like, are you going to be sick? You going to be sick in this car? And she's like, no, I'm fine. And he goes, okay. All right, great. If you're going to be sick, tell me. Because we'll stop. We'll stop. We'll fix this problem. She's like, no, I'm fine. Immediately pukes all over his car into like the cracks of the seat.
Yep.
So he spent his New Year's morning scrubbing his car.
Yeah. Oh man. And that
at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, that story is incredible. That is basically the same exact story that was mine. Except it was me driving the car, and my buddy in the back seat is just like, I'm going like, dude, are you gonna puke? Like every couple seconds, I'm like, are you gonna puke? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? You can't puke in this car. You cannot do it. He's like, I'm fine. It's fine.
Every time.
God damn it. Like I had the window open for you. You were leaning outside and you managed to puke all over the oh god.
Dear listeners, if you're drunk and you're getting a ride home, just tell your driver you're going to be sick. Just tell him. There's no shame in it. It's just how it works, you know.
Well.
Greg is out of excuses at this point. He has no more excuses. He briefly considers saying he has homework, but no one will believe he will do it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is true. You'll never do homework on a Saturday in your entire life. Like, you'll just never do it. So Greg acquiesces that he is being silly and he will go on the car ride. And then Terry asks if there's any more potatoes, which I thought might be a cliffhanger.
Are there any potatoes? Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. My first note for chapter 10 is, but what about the potatoes, Bob?
Fucking jovial Bob. God damn it. The evil potatoes.
The evil potatoes.
That's the next book.
That's book 17 of the Goosebumps series.
Wasn't there one about fried eggs?
There is an egg one, yeah. Egg Monsters from Mars.
Yeah, Egg Monsters from Mars. I love that one because the cover. The cover is incredible.
The cover is great. Yes.
Extremely good.
So now we're driving. We're driving the car. Mm-hmm. Dad says it's so easy to drive. It handles like a small car, not a station wagon. Oh my god!
Station wagons aren't bigger than whatever.
This first of all, this is like this is a dad car.
Yes.
so first of all, and these two chapters just read like a dad trying to justify his purchase to himself and his family. Like,
I feel like this is a personal anecdote from Jovial Bob. I feel
probably,
like
yeah.
Like he has done this. Like he has bought the new car. He has wanted to take the family out for a spin in the new car, and it was just like some weird station wagon shit.
Well, it's got a drink holder.
Oh wow,
which is great. It pulls out from the dash and everything. That's so amazing.
That's so cool.
It has seatbelts at work. That's great.
Oh wow, that when they said that, I was like, wait a minute. Does that imply that the previous car you had,
last one didn't
have working seatbelts? Hey, Greg, you're gonna have to sit in the seat where the seatbelt just doesn't work.
Hey, Greg, hope you don't die today.
It's your turn to be on death roulette.
Here's the thing, because if that's true, that's very, very deadly. Because Greg's dad, let's just get it right out, is not a good driver.
Nope. Nope.
So they get on the highway and dad just fucking lets it rip. He's like, we're gunning it. We're going. Because Terry's like, let's put the pedal to the metal, Dad. Let's see what this car can do. It's a station wagon. It's a station wagon.
Burn some rubber in a fucking Taurus. Yeah, okay. Sure, Terry.
So dad says, the cruising speed seems to be about 60.
What?
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then he starts revving up. He starts going faster. I think he goes to like 65, and his wife is like, hey, honey, we're going faster than the speed limit.
Yeah, the speed limit's 55, and he's going 60, at least 60. He gets up to 70.
Yeah.
Which, so I'm going to assume that this was like, This is so 0 to 60 in fucking 20 minutes.
The wind up on that. Oh man.
Mom says, you're acting like a crazy teenager, to which dad says, this is awesome.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Dad gets to 75.
What? That's too
Greg is like
fast.
panicking in
Yeah.
the back seat.
Well, he should be, because what happens next?
Because this fucking dad is like steering one-handed because he doesn't know what the fucking headlight switch is. He's like, oh, you turn the headlights on.
How long have you
fully?
It's nighttime, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's nighttime, and he doesn't have his fucking headlights on, and he's going 75.
Yep.
In a fucking Taurus. Looking at this.
Also, where are the headlights? Where the headlights are, Dad? They build cars the same way. Like, it's not that they invented a new place to put these things. Like,
I want to be a fly on the wall, listening to the conversation of the person, like with Greg's dad and the person who sold him the car. And it's just like, so Greg's dad comes up and just is like, yeah, I'd like a new car. And it's like, well, we have this fucking shitty Taurus. And he's like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll take it right now. Well, do you want me to teach you? Like,
and where are the headlights
Where are
at?
the
The worst place possible. You'll never find them. Oh, yeah.
oh my God. And smash cut to fucking dumbass Greg's dad zooming down at 75 miles an hour.
This is awesome.
Desperately trying to find where the headlight switch is, not looking at the road, veering into the oncoming traffic lane.
Yeah. So conclusion of this is that Dad swerves into oncoming traffic 100%. That is what he is doing. Cliffhanger.
That is one fucking hell of a cliffhanger, dude. Holy shit. Like, no, this family isn't gonna die, but
it's not a fake out though, because it picks up immediately with a truck like fucking like coming right at
like
them,
nearly fucking smashing the shit out of him. Oh man.
Yeah, like Dad has to swerve the car, which I assume means swerve across multiple lanes of traffic, like to not die.
Oh my God.
And then he says, "Oh, the lights were on the steering wheel." Yeah, Dad, that's where the fucking headlights are.
Can you imagine being that fucking truck driving and just seeing a fucking Taurus, no headlights on? Like, you can't even see it until it's like nearly too fucking late.
On you, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Whatever. It's just so fucking funny.
Dad's like, so Terry's a little fucked up because the truck would have fucking killed him. Because it was like coming right at him. Greg's like, we should can we go back home? And his dad's like, oh, I want to go to Santa Clara. So officially this takes place in California. And get some ice cream, which, hey, Dad, Terry fucking works at Dairy Freeze?
Do you think the last thing he wants to fucking eat right now, or even look at, is fucking ice cream?
He just had a hard day where they didn't have any fucking vanilla, and so probably the crowds were just incensed.
And he also just nearly died because of your dumb ass.
Like, fucking go get some pie or something. Like,
go to fucking Panera, Dad.
Mom, his mom's like, no, we're done. We're done. But his dad's like, the truck didn't come that close. Which, fuck off, Dad.
I'm not that shit.
I'm not that bad at driving.
Honey, you are. Give me the wheel.
You are that bad.
Just oh man, have the wife like tell the dad to like pull over, and then she drives the way back, all the way back home.
I would think that is what's happening. Yeah, I would think that exact thing happens. Yeah. At home, Greg examines the camera and the photo again, and he's like, well, that's weird. So this is weird. But of course, the car did not crash. So the photo is still just weird.
It's just odd.
So he's like, I'm going to take one more photo. And decides to do a selfie, but it's 1992, so he has to point the camera at a mirror.
Oh man,
he's like, wait a minute,
we need to talk about this real quick. Did Jovial Bob invent the selfie?
Oh my God, maybe. Do you think people? Okay, as Greg points out, the flash will be reflected, so it won't work. But then how many? But like, people had to have been like taking photos themselves in mirrors.
Oh yeah,
and like mailing them to people. They are mailing thirst traps.
Well, yeah, you could also just get someone to paint your picture and then send it to someone.
That's true too. So instead of doing that, he goes to Terry's room, where Terry is typing in his computer in 9A2.
My God.
Terry has his own fucking computer. What?
Incredible.
That's amazing.
These kids are fucking spoiled, dude. Terry's got a computer and Greg's got a hidden compartment in his headboard.
Yeah, what? Greg also claims that Sherry loaned him the camera. That's his claim as to why he has this thing. Terry, okay, and again, so we're talking about like how accurate is this family, right? Or how like realistic is that? Want to know, so Terry's like, I'll probably break your camera, and then like sticks his tongue out and crosses his eyes in this photo. I was just going to say, like, this feels like a more natural family than anything in the past 3 books has been.
Yeah.
Like, very dad energy dad. Very normal sibling relationship, which is just like older sibling, younger brother. They're fine. They're just fine.
Yeah, they're not like at each other's throats, which is more realistic for my family. But is, like, families are different. But I have seen like families like this where it's just like everything's cordial, everything's like, I'm goofy, I'm giving you shit sometimes, but I care about you and all that stuff. So it definitely feels authentic.
Yes. So he takes his photo, but he doesn't show him the photo. He's like, well, I think my camera's broken. I'll let you know if it comes out. So okay. The photo develops, and I actually really like this. I like this photo a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not anything really like outrageous. It's just like, Terry is not in the photo. He's not in his bedroom. He's outdoors. He is standing in front of a house that Greg recognizes as the house that's across in the playground. And nothing's really happening to him except that his face is really like, he has a frightened expression.
Yeah, he's worried or scared about something.
Yes. And I like this a lot because I think that we've had 2 photos now where like something dramatic has happened. And I like this like implication. This has more sinister implications to me.
Exactly. It has implications outside of the picture itself, because all the other ones, it was just like, here is the evidence that you need to understand that this is a bad thing. Whereas this is like, this person is very worried. They're very like scared or terrified of something. What? It
almost feels like this should have been the car photo. I mean, like, I know the car photo exists, and the car sequence makes sense, and it is effective. But it's like, it is weird because it's like the first photo you could make an argument that it maybe has like, maybe it has a delayed shutter on it or something, right? Yeah. But the second photo, you cannot argue that it is taken a photo of a fucked up car. It's clearly weird. The third photo is threatening and ominous, but not so bizarre that you're like, oh, the camera is fucking magic.
It makes me think that like if this book was rewritten, they could really Jovial Bob or whoever rewrote it could like really play with more of the implication stuff. Like, instead of just having the car being just completely fucked up and totaled, it could be more like, you take a picture of someone and they're scared, or you take a picture of something that was there and it isn't now, or like, like if you take a picture of like the what is it? Where they keep their keys or something, and there's like a note from the hospital there or something, and it's like really like subtle. Like, why? What is happening? Like really playing with like implications, like we're talking about. The rules of the camera get a little bit muddled as this book goes along, but I think it's almost like Jovial Bob is winging it anyway.
A little bit. But like right now in this part of the book, I think it's very good.
Yeah.
Because it's very clear that what the camera is doing is showing the future.
Yes.
That is what it is doing. And it's like up to the Greg or the photographer to interpret what that means.
Right. Yes.
Now, I mean, okay, we don't know that the car has... and we, the audience, the reader, might now be thinking that it maybe doesn't show the exact future because the car is not totaled.
Right.
But there was a near collision. So, like, it maybe it's like it is suggesting the future or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like
if you...
That's interesting.
If you weren't... Like, when they took the picture of Michael falling off of the railing, they hadn't seen the picture yet in order to warn him about that. So
Yes.
it happened. Whereas in this case, it might be an instance where, oh, you were there, you knew what the camera was showing you. It was showing you a future potential event. But because you were there...
maybe Greg knowing about it was what prevented the event from happening to some degree.
Yeah.
Like if Greg had not been more like reticent to be in the car or more like uncomfortable in the car, maybe they wouldn't have noticed the truck or whatever. Like, and that would be why the photo is the way it is. It's an interesting question that one might ask about the camera.
Yeah. And, so basically what you're saying is Jovial Bob invented the butterfly effect?
I am saying that is true.
Okay, cool. Just so we get that.
I guess Greg determines the camera must be broken.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this camera's broken.
Okay, if the picture doesn't come out or it's like all white or an overexposed, it's like, that's broken.
Yeah.
But like,
that's not what broken means, Greg. Like,
in what situation could a camera like pick? Oh, whatever. Anyway.
Oh yeah, cameras often break and show the future. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I see what you got here. You got a broken camera. You got to fix this. You gotta fix this.
Hey, your camera's broken here. Keep showing the future. Someone forgot to flip the camera switch to present. Sorry.
It was that future tense. My bad. Let me flip
that's my mistake.
Oh yeah, there are a couple things that we should note about the camera that are really interesting and have implications like further on down the line.
Okay.
But one of the really fun things that happens with the camera when it's first found is the kids notice that it spits out Polaroids, it spits out film.
Yeah.
But there's no way to load it. There's no way to put like Polaroids or film into the camera.
Yeah, I think that's noted in this forthcoming chapter. Actually.
Oh, my bad. I was getting ahead of myself. So next chapter or no, same chapter. We cut to Greg has put the camera away, and now they're at a warm fall day. It's a perfect day for baseball, and they're at the park. They're gonna watch Bird play baseball. Hooray! Just guys being dudes.
So Greg brought the camera for whatever reason, and he tells Sherry that it's broken. Sherry's like, maybe just suck at photos, Greg.
Oh, fucking ouch. Why?
Which he says, maybe I'll take a photo of you getting a knuckle sandwich. Which all right, okay. And then Sherry says, snap that, and I'll take a photo of you eating the camera. Which it's like, damn, banter.
These kids, it's one after another.
Sherry just wants the camera here so she can take a photo of Bird looking like an idiot. That's literally the only reason that she told him to bring the camera. Is that Bird looks stupid in a baseball uniform, and she wants to take a photo of how stupid he looks.
Oh my God, Sherry, what the fuck? A couple things also, like one, Sherry's fucked up. Two, Sherry 100% does not believe like anything is going on with this camera.
Yeah, it's weird because the belief the kids have goes back and forth almost as if R.L. Stine was winging it. Because like right off the bat, Michael and Sherry agree that Michael was not falling when the camera was taken.
Right.
But like we get to this chapter and Sherry's like, no, Greg, don't be an idiot. The camera's fine. Like
you're just a dumbass.
You're just stupid. The team, by the way, is the Pitts Landing's Dolphins.
What? Wouldn't it be
Pitts Landing Dolphins is the baseball team.
Shouldn't it be like the Pitts Landing porpoises or what?
I don't know.
Like what?
I don't know. Evidently, they had two caps to choose from, which was the Zephyrs or the Dolphins, and no one knew what a Zephyr was, so they chose Dolphins.
Isn't that more of a reason to choose a Zephyr though?
I would definitely pick Zephyr for that reason.
What kid
I'd be
wouldn't?
like, yup.
I remember being a child in school and thinking the letter Z was the coolest fucking thing. Just anything with think, the Z in it.
Well, right, because your logo could just be a Z, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
And it's just like a lightning bolt, man. That's just rad.
So Bird suggests they should share the camera because they all risk their lives to get it, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's not true.
Risk their lives.
It's just not true. Bird, you're putting on some dumb clothes. Well, Greg fucking found the camera, so no, you don't get to share it.
I risked my life crawling through those empty boxes of Hungry Man dinners.
So, Sherry attempts to take a photo, but Greg won't let her, and they fight over the camera, which triggers the camera to take a photo, and it shows Bird on the ground with his neck bent at a frightening angle. is what the camera shows. That's like revealed very quickly.
Yes.
Bird claims the camera is out of so next chapter, Bird claims the camera is out of focus.
What? That's. I love it when people talk about shit that they have no idea.
What? It's out of focus. That's why I'm not standing.
That's why I'm on the. That's why my dead body is crumpled on the ground.
Like,
oh, it's kind of blurry. Hey,
like what? So Sherry and Greg are both perplexed by this, and this is where they begin like studying the camera, and they can't find where the film is or how much film is left.
Right.
They're like, it's just they keep fiddling with the camera, and they just don't. They can't explain how it works. In fact, Sherry says it has no moving parts at all.
Mm-hmm. Even though I noted that when it takes pictures, it makes
like a whirring noise.
Yeah, whirring sound.
So there must be some moving parts in that. This I noted this chapter feels extremely padded.
Yes.
Because we keep cutting from the kids looking at the camera to baseball happening or things happening around baseball.
And a fake out.
Yeah. Yes. So we cut through a lot of, and this is so funny is baseball. R.L. Stine tacitly admits that baseball is so boring that he can't even write about it because he just instead writes about a soda can being spilled, a child crying, a station wagon driving by, and not the baseball happening. That's like what's important.
Did everybody have a station wagon in the 90s? Is that just
I guess so.
Jesus Christ.
But yes, they notice that they're shocked to see that Bird is on the ground exactly like he was in the photo, which is a cliffhanger.
Which I will say, his neck bent at an unnatural angle. Like if he was just like the photo.
Yeah.
How? I mean, we'll get to it, but like if something bad happens to your neck, I mean, Mario, you would be able to speak to this way more obviously.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like, so the reveal is that this is a fake out, and Bird's just like, gotcha. But I agree, if you describe the photo as having your neck bent at an unnatural angle, that implies you could not naturally bend it that way.
Right.
So how did Bird break his fucking neck?
It's just a talent of Bird. It's one of his many talents.
One of his, birds have hollow bones. so
they can rotate their neck at a really fucked up angle and trick their friends.
So to me, at this point, I was like, oh, is this like some weird like time paradox stuff? Like,
yeah.
Like where Bird wouldn't have made that pose if he didn't see the photo, but the photo predicted he would be in that pose. So I was like, this is really interesting to think about while Bird is beaten to death by Greg and Sherry.
Yeah, they fucking destroy his ass.
They like hold him down so I can beat the shit out of him.
Like, you fucker.
This is, by the way, during the baseball game. They are on the field.
Yeah. Which made me think, like, is this a legit baseball game? Like, so it's an honest to God, like, baseball game with teams and, like, adults there and, like, coaching and, doing all that stuff. Because at certain points, it felt like just, like, the kids, the only people who were there were the kids. And they were just having, like, a practice mock game. Like,
well, we'll get to it, but the parents are so fucking bored they want to leave.
Yeah.
like the parents are like actively getting out of stands and doing something else.
Yeah, they just don't give a fuck. Which, hey, if they were giving a fuck, maybe what happens wouldn't have happened.
So basically, Bird says his reasoning for doing this was, quote, you think it showed Michael the camera. He says the camera is it's bogus. This is all bogus. Mm-hmm. You think it he said you think that because it showed Michael falling down the stairs, there's something strange with the camera. That's dumb. It's not, but
it's cool. It's like, why?
It's not dumb. At the very least, it's interesting.
Yeah. It's like, why is this happening? What is going on here? And you know, if you read some of these books and it's like, okay, what would I do in this situation? You know?
Yeah.
And the first thing I would try to fuck around with is like, what exactly is this camera doing? If I take a picture of a water bottle, is it gonna like have someone's finger in it or something? Is it like what exactly is it doing? The point here is that I would test it. I would want to do
You would think he'd be taking more photos of more things,
right?
You would think that. Yes, I agree. I think that would be the natural assumption. Like, I should take a photo of, like, my homework.
Right.
Like, and if it comes out with an F on it, then I know. Like,
Yeah, I need to do it better or something, or get someone else to do it for me.
Yeah.
But like, especially at the beginning, where it's just like, if anything, it was predicting the future. You know,
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily like causing it to happen. It's just like, oh my God, this thing can predict the future. There are so many things that you could do.
We think that's what it's doing.
Yeah. But then he takes a picture of the car, and then it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. The so the baseball game continues very boringly. And Sherry wants to leave desperately, but Greg says, no. Bird's coming up. I want to stay and boo him.
Some friends.
Which I think that's hilarious.
Unironically, that's pretty funny.
So they then do exactly that. And as they like get ready to leave, having successfully made their friend miserable, the next batter, so Bird hits the ball and moves the base, right? The next batter smashes the ball into the side of Bird's head, fucking killing him.
He's fucking dead. He fucking dies. Well, he doesn't die, but like...
But I mean, it sounds like he's gonna be dead from this.
Dude, the way that it's described in this book...
Fucking Dwayne Wade.
Bird is
fucking
dead. Bird is gone. Bird flew the coop.
Bird done flew the coop.
See, that's why I asked if because it was interesting to hear you say that, like, you know, oh, there were the teams and there were adults there and they're bored and they're wanting to leave.
Yeah.
Because the way that this is described, it makes it sound like no one rushes to his aid. No one, like, you know, an adult runs down there and calls like an ambulance, like. And here's the other thing: were the kids wearing helmets? Because the helmets in baseball games have like the protectors around the ears, that prevent this kind of like hit.
They should, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the logistics of this was. Like, I'm. It's very strange. It doesn't seem well managed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, but yeah, that kid, oh my God.
He's toast, right? So everyone runs down. Well, so Greg at least runs to get to Bird.
Yeah.
But this is wild. So Bird just got hit with his baseball, right? Mm-hmm. Next chapter, go to Bird to like check on our dying friend. Enter Terry.
Yep.
Okay. And as you may remember, the photo that he was in showed the house across the street from the playground that they are at, or the park. And it's now, so Greg looks over and it's his like view of the photo has been recreated, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so he is now once again seeing Terry freaked out in front of the house, and we're like, oh, and this is, and Terry informs Greg that their dad has been in a car accident. The car is completely totaled.
My God.
So that's like 3 photos happening at once.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like quick succession. It's just like bam, bam, bam.
Like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's good shit. And it's also...
It's good shit.
Doesn't it completely, like... You get focused on Terry now and Greg's father.
Yeah.
And then you completely forget about Bird.
You do a bit, yeah.
Bird has just died, but you're like, oh,
Bird,
my dad.
Bird may as well be dead. They're also of note. So Greg notices that there's a dark shadow behind the bleachers.
Yeah.
Someone's watching them.
Oh man.
Dum dum dum.
Also,
I really like. Oh, sorry.
I have a quick question, really quick.
Yeah.
You know how Greg took a picture of the fucked up station wagon?
Yeah.
The Taurus.
Yeah.
Doesn't that imply that they drove that wrecked ass car back into their driveway?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Anyway.
Yes, it does.
Who got that there? Anyway.
I really like the next sequence where Greg goes to the hospital. I think it's cool because he's not able to like perceive anything. Mm-hmm. Like R.L. Stine just describes a bunch of colors, like colored things, like the paint color and the uniforms and the floors. Mm-hmm. And Greg's just like registering color and like nothing else because he's so freaked out about his dad.
Yeah, that's really effective.
I think it was nice. I thought that was an effective sequence. Like R.L. Stine wrote some like real human stuff at that moment. Good for him.
Definitely undercut by what happens shortly, but anyway.
Well, so they go in and Mr. Banks is wrapped up like a mummy, apparently.
By the way, the very next book we're doing, by the way.
Book is the mummy one.
Yeah. There you go. One of a couple, I think. But yeah.
But so his head's wrapped up like a mummy, or it's on his hair. He has one arm in a cast and an IV in the other arm. And he's definitely on drugs.
Absolutely.
He's definitely medicated.
Fucking whacked out of his gourd.
He's apparently got some like a broken arm and some ribs are broken. He's got a concussion. And they're watching him for internal injuries. So he's pretty jacked up. The book definitely sounds bad.
Yes. Like, I mean, the full body cast thing is definitely an indicator that, like, this guy got destroyed. Like, that accident, that was not a fender bender. And especially implied by the photo, like, he got...
Yeah, it implies it's not good. Yeah. And the narrator also is definitely, like, voicing Dad as if he can't really talk. Like, he's definitely voicing him as if he is struggling to communicate. He's not entirely lucid.
Right.
At this point, Greg is like, I've got to tell him with this photo. So he tries to bring it up, and Mom totally brushes him off. And Dad passes out because he's on painkillers. Evidently, a guy ran a red light and plowed into the driver's side of the car. He claims his brakes stopped working, which is interesting.
Yeah, because there is a central question to what's happening with the camera and the photos that it's taking, which is is the camera predicting the future, or
is the camera causing the future things to happen?
Is it? Yeah, and it's very interesting. Also, you would know this more than me, and the fact that you didn't bring it up definitely indicates that maybe I'm off base here. But if you have a concussion, you shouldn't go to sleep, should you?
That is a
if it's too complicated,
that is
don't worry about it.
It's a truism that yes, you're not supposed to for some time. He's hospitalized, so I think it's probably fine.
That's true.
Let me put it that way. Like he's hospitalized, he's being monitored. It would be fine.
It's interesting because I just finished watching 7 seasons of Dexter, and one episode of Dexter. I think it was season. I think it was 3 or 4. I think it was the Trinity season, the very beginning of it. He gets into a car accident in the first episode, and he gets a concussion. And the whole episode, he's trying not to fall asleep because the doctor was like, okay, you can't go to sleep. We recommend anyone who gets a concussion of your nature to not fall asleep for the next, I think he said 24 hours. And so
I suspect, I'm not really sure there's a great real reason that behind that, except that a concussion can belie that you have a more serious injury. So I think the argument can be made that if you go home and go to sleep, you could actually have, a brain bleed and die. And no one might know about it because you were asleep and, we're not being monitored.
Gotcha.
But a concussion itself does not make sleeping more dangerous.
Okay.
I think it's just more that there might be something else.
Yeah, something might happen and someone won't be there to point that out.
Yeah, okay. If you're asleep and no one's monitoring you and,
right.
you need to be you shouldn't be really on your own. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So Bird's okay.
Well, thank God.
So Bird's fine. He's fine.
Last time we saw Bird, he was lying on the ground with his neck snapped in a completely unnatural way. So it's good to hear that he is okay.
Apparently, so we jump a week in the future.
Yeah, that was fun.
For whatever. I mean, okay, it's less egregious than some other books in the Goosebumps franchise have done.
True.
Monster Blood jumps around too much, and in this case, so Sherry is having a birthday party and she wants Greg to bring the camera, which Greg has not touched in a week. Which okay, all right, sure. And now now is the part. Okay, Greg tells Sherry that he had a dream about the camera, which depicts the cover of the book.
Yeah.
It's very short, this conversation.
It's like a couple sentences, if that. Maybe a paragraph.
Yeah.
It's just so in and out. Greg describes, like, to a T, the cover of Say Cheese and Die. Like, Dad was out back grilling, and everybody was having a great time, and Mom was there, and Terry was behind them, and I said, hey, everybody pose for a photo, and then I took it, and they were all skeletons.
Am I right to assume that R.L. Stine put this in after?
Mario, my friend, give me 1 second as I go and get a book.
Okay.
Okay.
Here
I have with me The Art of Goosebumps, gifted to me by my friend Mario for Christmas.
Whoa!
And yeah, this thing is awesome, by the way. I'm so happy that, like, this is, like, amazing. I love having such high resolution art of all of the fucking books. But in addition to all of the covers and a bunch of cool quotes and stuff, there's a bunch of interesting tidbits of information. And one of them, for the Say Cheese and Die page, which is 21.
All you Goosebumps heads out at home can read along.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple things. First off, this is where I got that thing from earlier. Page 20, it's a 2-pager. And this book is huge, so it's amazing to look at all this stuff. Curly says, the cover of the... It's an amazing picture of Curly. The cover of this novel is the start of what would become an essential ingredient in most of the series covers, the juxtaposition of normal-looking subject matter with a grotesque element. Jacobus said that this title, the title of this book, is what made him realize that the series was humor mixed with horror.
Wow. So, man, R.L. Stine's, like, joke title was very important in the history of this franchise. Damn.
It was, and that joke title was like an afterthought. It's so fun, like, how all this stuff works. Okay, and here it is on page 21. In this case, the cover features a seemingly happy family enjoying a barbecue on a sunny day. The only catch is that they're all skeletons. This cover was so beloved by the Scholastic team that when they realized there were no scenes in the book that resembled the art, they called R.L. Stine and asked him to add the moment into the story. Stine ingeniously added the scene as a dream sequence.
I wouldn't call it I'll be honest with you.
No, that's incorrect. It was like a dream sequence implies that there was
implies.
Yeah, it's not the retelling of a dream, but whatever.
Like, we've literally seen...
Yes.
Monster Blood has a dream sequence in it.
Welcome to Dead House has a dream sequence that's nearly identical.
Nearly identical to this.
Some would say even better because it's skeletons eating skeletons.
I'd agree that owns.
Fucking rad.
But, like, yeah, this is... I would not call it ingenious. I would call it doing the bare minimum.
Dude, I read that quote before I reread Say Cheese and Die, and that fucking book set me up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So kids at home, brace yourself for disappointment when it comes to this subject.
Fucking.
But I do think it's funny that the Scholastics team liked it that much.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you it's just good. It's a good cover.
It really is, and it influenced so much. Also, quick side note. Remember how I said in Monster Blood that the reason why we talked about slime toys was because there was a weird quote that came from somewhere that said that R.L. Stine wrote Monster Blood because of slime toys?
Yes.
Page 19 of this The Art of Goosebumps book. Oh, by Sarah Rodriguez, by the way. At the very bottom of the page, it says, R.L. Stine said he was inspired to write this story by the toy slime his son used to play with. It is one of the few Goosebumps books written in third person with all of the following Monster Blood books following suit. So anyway, that is where that info comes from. I found it. I got it, and I read every page, and I was super shocked to see that is where the source of that comes from.
The deep lore.
Deep goose lore.
The deep goose lore?
But yeah, no, it's rad. What's not rad is this piddly little reference to the cover, which is forced in.
It's a bit of a... it's a pittance, I would say.
Yeah, come on, give me a full dream sequence. Come on, give me something like what happens in the show.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, actually. And to no surprise, Sherry's like, I don't give a shit about that.
Fuck off, idiot, fucking nerd.
She literally says, what a dumb dream.
Kids, the honesty of children.
The honesty of children. But she demands that he bring the camera to her party because they're being required to stay outside and there's just nothing to do out there. So she wants to take photos and look at how weird they turn out.
I mean, yeah. Hey, if you're a kid, you'd probably do the same damn thing.
Yep. So Greg brings a camera to the party. Bird's there.
Yay.
He's alive.
Hooray.
He claims that now, from time to time, he clucks like a chicken. And everyone laughs.
Everyone has a good time with
his
that.
hilarious joke.
He's a comic,
Michael thinks Bird sucks, which I think is correct. Michael is wearing an oversized Hawaiian shirt and faded jeans, which I think is great. Which, okay, here we go. This part, I was just like, I hate you, Bird. I hate you, Bird, so much. So Greg says, where'd you get that shirt? And Bird says, in a cereal box. Everyone laughs. Michael says, my grandma gave it to me. Bird says, he made it at home ec.
Shut the fuck up, Bird.
You first of all, you made one joke already. Shut the fuck up. You don't get to do it again.
You get one and then you're done.
And then Michael says, explains it was the only clean shirt he had at home. Bird walks over and just rubs some fucking dirt on it and says, well, now it's dirty too.
Bird, get over here.
I'd beat the shit out of this kid. like
fucking shit.
And then Michael shoves him into a hedge, quote unquote, playfully. I would not have been playful if I had shoved him into that hedge.
Yeah, no. That was R.L. Stein protecting us from the truth that Michael fucking threw that idiot's head into the goddamn bush.
Sherry emerges. She's wearing a braid and oversized silk yellow top over black spandex leggings. Okay.
Like, I'm not wrong. Am I crazy? Like, every time Sherry shows up, Jovial Bob's it has like way too much like description of her specific outfit.
It's just like Andy in Monster Blood. I don't like. It's bizarre. I mean, he talks about Michael's outfit too, so it's not the only outfit he describes in this chapter. But like, her outfits also are all the same.
That's true. Yeah. It just made me think like, who is he writing these sequences? Like, I want to know like the audience for Goosebumps. Like, not the ages are probably 12, 12 averaging, but like, I want to know if like more girls read it versus boys, because like it's just. Is he specifically writing for girls and thinks that by writing by like describing the outfits,
clothes, is this gonna be I don't know.
It just occurred to me while I was reading it once that like maybe that was a thing. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Sherry like demands that her photo be taken.
Yeah, demands.
Is like adamant
despite Greg is
that this photo be taken.
Greg is like, no, there's something really fucking weird going on with this camera.
But she's like, oh, but I want it to be weird.
That's the whole point.
Michael notes that they were the only boys invited, and she said, yep, 3 boys and 9 girls. But also, okay, audiobook thing. Mm-hmm. When Michael says this about the boys being invited, the narrator says it as if Michael's tongue is being stuck out. He says, hey, are we the only boy thing?
Yeah, what was that?
Hey, are we the only boys invited? Michael asked, stepping up to Sherry. Yeah, just you 3, Sherry said, and 9 girls. Oh, wow. Michael made a face.
That was really
weird. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Like was he eating something or like
I don't know.
Did someone hold his tongue? I don't know what the fuck. It was really weird.
I don't know. Michael hates this. There's this many girls, and backs into Nina Blake, Sherry's friend. Okay, all right. Nina demands to know what the party will involve. Bird suggests spin the bottle, which,
Oh my
all right, great,
God.
Bird. Thank you so much. Nina suggests truth or dare. Everyone likes truth or dare. Greg then says, or thinks, truth or dare meant lots of kissing and embarrassing stunts. All right. I am going to go out on a limb and say that no living human has ever played spin the bottle. Like, I don't think that it's a real game that people play.
It's a fake game invented.
I think it's a fucking conspiracy. And I'm gonna go further and say I don't think Truth or Dare does involve a lot of kissing. like if every dare in Truth or Dare is you have to kiss somebody, it's a bad game.
Yeah, I think
just pick truth then.
Well, I think that is a line from the book where it's just like, I'll just pick truth all the time, so I don't have to do it. I don't have to do weird shit.
Just pick truth. It's easy. It's easy. If you don't want to do it, just pick truth. Who cares? And then I'll tell you one more thing: pick truth and then fucking lie.
No, you can't do that. It's truth or dare.
There's fucking no rules.
There's no rules at the 12-year-old truth and dare contest.
In this world, you gotta it's kill or be killed. You know, you gotta fucking lie sometimes.
Which, hey, considering what happens in a little bit and how they lie to certain people. Of
important life lesson coming up in this book.
Like, hey, lessons learned.
So Sherry takes the photo.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Greg takes the photo of Sherry. Yes. Sherry is not in the photo, which is what's weird. She is not in the photo. And she is disgusted with Greg, by the way. She's described as talking disgustedly twice in this segment.
I thought you were a photographer. You want to do this shit for your life? You want to be your career and you can't even take a picture of me? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You fucking disgust me, Greg, you piece of shit, you worm.
Which, of all of the things to happen with this camera and all of the spooky things to happen, this is a pretty good one, but it's also the most understandable for people to be like, oh, well, you just moved the camera.
It's fucked up. Yeah. She's like, well, I'm not a vampire, Greg, which that's what a vampire would say, Sherry.
100%.
Okay. But Greg's like, no, that's the fucking tree where you were standing. So they retake the photo, which I think is a good idea. Okay, that's a smart thing, right? Like, if it fucked up once and we're debating whether or not it's like a magic camera, just take it again.
Test and observe.
Experiment here, right? It happens again, right? So clearly it is turning Sherry invisible in this photo. Okay, she is not in the photo. This is not weird enough for Sherry to be excited about. Instead, they go in the woods and play some bullshit games. Greg hates them. Bird is the only one that likes them because he's the worst. They go back inside for cake. Bird makes fun of Michael's shirt again. But when they get back, Sherry is gone. She's not there. And they can't find her anywhere. Dum.
That's terrifying. That's scary.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Like, just disappearing, just entirely going away. Like, we get to some existential goosebumps, like terror, later on in some of these other ones. Like, oh my god, I am so excited for us to get to the Cuckoo Clock of Doom. But this is pretty good. This is like good, quote unquote. But also the reaction to this by the by the characters in the story is like, this hits. Like,
I think this works. Yeah. There's like a real sense of panic to this.
Yeah.
And like, I also think it's a nice way of like literally interpreting the photo. So like, she's not in the photo because she has literally disappeared, right? Like, she is gone, so she is missing. Mm-hmm. It's a way to interpret the photo, which implies that the photos can have a little fun. But there's like a real panic to this. I mean, we cut to the police arriving. Mm-hmm. They're sweeping the woods. Like, a lot of police are present.
Yeah.
Also, her dad was not at the party. Her dad was established as playing golf and had to come home for this. This is your fucking kid's birthday.
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Oh, I didn't catch that. That's super funny. Oh, it's your child's birthday party, and you're not. Oh man, wow.
What the fuck?
Playing golf. That's so funny.
They also described that the candles have melted on the cake. Like, Greg.
Yeah, that was a good touch.
I like that. I like that touch. Yeah, like this is indicating like time is. They've been searching for a while.
Yeah, it does one of those amazing things that writers like do really well when they're really like going for it, is communicating in like one line like more than one idea. With one concept,
Yes.
like because the melted candles not only signify the passage of time, but the complete removal of anyone from caring about the candles and the cake.
Yeah.
And just
Yes,
focused
yes,
completely
yes.
on the panic of where the fuck is my child.
Right. It's a very nice image.
It's effective.
That communicates a lot.
It's effective and efficient, and it's good. I like it.
Greg notices all this because he's sitting under like a tree or something in their yard. And Officer Riddick comes over. The Chronicles of Officer Riddick.
Oh God, you thought that too when you heard that.
Immediately, instantly.
How can
I
you
thought
not?
this cop became Vin Diesel in my mind. He wants to know why Greg hasn't left, and Greg's like, well, she's my friend and I live next door, so like, you know.
The fuck am I supposed to do, cop?
Yeah, Riddick's like, well, you should go home. This is gonna take a while. I want to say for later that in this sequence, Riddick is definitely, at least the audiobook narrator is trying to convey that he's like attempting to have sympathy for this kid, right? He's like, you know, hey, are you okay? What's going on? No, we'll find her. It's gonna be all right. But he does imply that Greg might be hiding something, and then he rests his hand on his gun.
Yeah.
Which, like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I think around.
you gonna fucking light this kid up in a minute?
Need to make sure I'm ready in case this kid tries something drastic.
And I do think this is a nice sequence where Greg is like, okay, I should tell this guy about this camera, but then I'll reveal that I've stolen the camera. But Sherry's more important than this camera.
Yeah.
But he won't believe me anyway, so will this help anybody? It's a nice like thought process for Greg to have. It feels like a giving an actual thought.
This, more than any other Goosebumps book, feels like real. This feels like legit, like what a kid's thought process would be.
Yes.
And just like getting caught up in themselves and being like, well, there are more, Sherry's more important, but he's not going to believe me, but is it worth selling him something even if he doesn't believe me? But anyway, we end up with the golden rule, which is don't talk to cops.
Yes. Greg like just blurts it out. Just like, this fucking camera, it's weird. I don't know. The cliffhanger implies that Riddick is like mad about this.
Gonna fucking shoot this kid.
But it's a fake out because he really does not care. He's
just like, look, you're under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Which leads us to don't talk to cops. There's no point.
There was no point to this, yes.
Teaching kids a very important life lesson.
Greg just basically, Riddick's like, go home. You're stressed out. We're going to figure this out. And then Greg's like, man, I wish I hadn't talked to that cop. But Greg goes home and finds his room ransacked.
Yeah.
His house is empty and his room has been ransacked, which I think is an effectively fucking like, oh shit moment in this story.
Yeah. How you like it now, Greg?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Right. So this is the second Harvey Birdman moment that I had, because I cannot envision a person opening their door to a ransacked room and not think of Phil Kensebben, voiced by Stephen Colbert, saying, "My office, burgled, plundered, purloined." Loin. I can't not envision that as being what Greg thought. So the room has been plundered, but of course Spidey doesn't know about a secret compartment. So the camera is Greg immediately knows it was Spidey. Let me put it this way: there's not a lot of time debating this. He's like, oh, it was definitely Spidey. He's looking for this camera. He was at the playground, like he saw him from the bleachers, so he knows where he lived because he followed him home, probably. Which is creepy, I would say.
Very.
And so Greg's like really, this like he is a mess of emotions.
Yes.
He's all messed up, and I think that's fair. This is like a pretty overwhelming day, I would say.
A little bit.
He calls Berg, which I would not do.
What the fuck is Berg gonna do? Make a joke?
And he's like, he wants Bird to meet him at the playground. Bird, and for Bird to call Michael and have them meet in the playground. And Bird's like, it's almost dinner time though. And I guess ultimately they agree to do this. This is mostly a very brief kind of fillery chapter that feels like R.L. Stine needed to meet a page count. But I do like that Greg looks out his window at Sherry's empty yard because the police are gone, and he can still see the birthday cake.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it looks like a birthday party for ghosts.
Oh. Oh my god. That's the next book.
That's the next one. I was like, I'm waiting for this book.
This is gonna be a good one.
Ghost birthday. Haunted birthday.
A boo Earth day.
By R.L. Stine. They go to the park. Bird and Michael are like, nope, we're not helping. Greg wants to take the camera back. And Bird and Michael are like, no. Nope, not doing that. Greg calls Bird a chicken. He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I am a chicken. Like, I'm fucking terrified of that. Which, okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So they suggest just like tossing the camera away or like leaving it at the baseball field. And Greg's like, no, Spidey it was in my house. Like, he thinks I have the camera. I can't leave it at the playground because he'll just come back to my fucking house again. Which, fair. You know?
No, the thought process,
It's a reasonable thought process.
Checks out.
Bird tries to take the camera, and they struggle with it. And so yet again, a photo is accidentally taken, but this time it's of Greg. Cliffhanger.
Dun, dun, dun.
And okay, this is the part of the story. I would argue that right about now is when R.L. Stine is like, I am out of ideas. Like,
I give up.
I have run out of stuff.
I'm done.
Joey Ferris and Mickey Ward emerge at the playground. They are two ninth graders. They are bullies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They never get in any trouble, despite the fact that they are bad. Joey has blonde hair, which is spiked. He has a diamond stud in one ear. Mickey has long black hair and zits and has a toothpick. And they're both wearing heavy metal t-shirts. And the narrator has given them Brooklyn accents.
Yes. Oh man, I loved it so much.
Greg tucked the snapshot into his jeans pocket. Hey, you found my camera, Joey said, grabbing it out of Greg's hand.
That I love. I love that. Bird and Michael immediately bail because they suck.
Yep.
Joey takes the camera, and they basically just like, they're doing the bully shit. You know, they're invoking finders keepers on the camera. They take the camera, and Mickey is about to take a photo of Joey, and they try to stop them. Greg tries to stop them. Bird says it's because your face will break the camera. And Mickey's like, this kid thinks he's hot stuff.
This kid thinks he's hot stuff.
And Bird says, no, I don't. which is pretty good. And then Mickey says, he looks like something I stepped in yesterday. which is pretty good. Basically, they just don't want them to learn the camera secret. So Greg like leaps up and takes the camera and runs. And Joey and Mickey like don't even bother chasing them. They're just like, whatever. Fucking don't care. But they all agree that now it's too late to take the camera back to the house. It's too late. We'll do it tomorrow, Greg says. And Bird and Mike are like, oh, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll follow you.
Yep, okay. Sure, yeah.
Oh, where was I going to meet you?
yeah, what time do you think we're going to do it? Greg realizes that he hasn't looked at the photo that he took of himself. And it is a photo of himself and Sherry.
Hey.
They are both looking straight ahead. They have expressions of horror on their face, and a shadow is covering them. Okay. Greg calls out to Sherry, like, are you here, Sherry? And a voice responds, but it's just his mom.
Aww.
Because he apparently hadn't called home since Sherry had gone missing.
Probably wanted...
Or he hadn't, like, talked to his mom since Sherry got missing, because she's at work, I guess.
Geez.
So, like, come on, Greg. Come on, get it together. Time skip. Greg's pacing in his room. Dad's coming home. Sherry's missing. And then he's just all fucked up. And he says, cameras can't be evil after all. Oh, buddy.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Oh, my sweet summer child. Greg is just so frustrated. He studies the photos for clues. And he just tears up the photos. And then he just like lays down in bed for 2 hours. It's like lays down in bed and it's like waits for the world to give him a sign. And it does. Sherry calls. Whoa!
Nice. See, here's the thing. So Sherry's back, and it's insinuated. I was it expressly stated, or is it insinuated that tearing up the photo of Sherry causes basically broke the spell?
Yes. If it's not out, I mean, basically Greg says, so she's been back for 2 hours. 2 hours ago, he tore up the photo. Therefore, he assumes, or he wonders if that's why she's back.
Right. So that does a couple things for me. One, did he rip up both of the pictures?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so he ripped them both up. Okay. See, that's the thing that I realized earlier, where it was like, oh, if he only ripped up one of her not being there, then why? But
what does that mean?
Yeah.
But I wonder, does that mean that you could use the camera, and if you ripped up the photo it took, it wouldn't happen?
That was my other thing. Yeah. Does it completely negate any like nastiness or evilness of the camera, or like any of the camera's effectiveness by just ripping up the photo? Like, you could get an idea for what's coming and then just prevent it from happening by ripping it up.
And then just prevent it. Interestingly, though, so it's not that like Sherry didn't get lost. Like, very important here. She didn't like. Sherry has just not existed for 2 hours.
Yeah, she went to the sunken place.
Yeah, like she, like the camera literally removed her from existence.
Yeah,
she's like, I remember the party. I remember being outside my house. 2 hours, like 2 weeks later. Like I don't have any other memories at all.
That's fucking crazy. I love that.
Like, so the camera's fucking magic.
Yeah, no, it's straight up like, yeah, it was magic before, but it is extremely like crazy magic now. It's like doing something and putting people away from reality.
So we now do the exact same thing we did before, where Greg's like, Sherry, meet me at the playground. We're taking this fucking camera back. And she's like, oh, okay. So she goes there. She still is unconvinced the camera is magic.
Yeah, what the shit? How do you explain?
Sherry.
I don't.
But reality is here to prove Greg right, because suddenly a shadow moves towards them. And they gasp in fear as Spidey emerges, right? So the photo is of looking on at them as Spidey is approaching them, basically.
Yeah.
The photo that was accidentally taken of Greg. So like, that's something, right? Mm-hmm. They run away. Spidey's wearing a black baseball cap and he moves like a black tarantula. Okay. This part, I'm gonna say this right here. This part stinks. This part's bad. It's a low point in the book, I would say, one of two, where they're running and just like a car shows up and it's Jerry Norman.
Hey, Jerry.
You guys remember Jerry Norman?
I love Jerry Norman.
Oh, our favorite character, Jerry Norman, who lives across the street and has totally existed before now.
I'm so glad I know his name.
Like, why would we not, like, Terry or Greg's dad is coming home today. Why not have them driving back from the hospital?
Yeah, something like
Why
that.
not have Terry come by? Like,
or like the parents are like nearby so that they know, because their daughter just disappeared. You wouldn't just let her go out on her own.
Why? It doesn't need to be this new character that has never existed before showing up to save the day. Because he shows up, honks the horn, and like starts yelling at Spidey to leave those kids alone. Spidey runs away, right? Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, like, it's, you can have somebody do that, but it's like this is the like definition of a Jerry Ex Machina. It's just like, it's just weird. It's just weird.
It's fun.
In any case, they agree to go to the coffin house tomorrow.
Yeah.
And lo, they do, as an ominous storm arises.
Oh my God. So creepy.
I like that it's just like the thunder rumbles. Yeah. Also, okay. Did you notice how often in this chapter, when they go back to the house, that R.L. Stine mentions creatures running through the grass?
Now that you mention it, yeah, I do remember that. I do. I remember like, a couple times. Yeah,
several times. It's just very weird. It doesn't go anywhere. The creatures don't matter. But he's like, Greg specifically says it might be a squirrel, but it's too big to be a squirrel.
Yeah. I remember that line. Yeah. And then
what is it then?
And then they talk about
a possum.
I mean, were they talking about mice earlier? But then there was like,
Yeah.
oh, is it rats? And then they made fun of that dude for Michael for thinking it was a rat. I think.
Like it's like I guess it's adding to the spooky atmosphere, but like you already have a big thunderstorm happening, and you're going into the home of the Spidey guy
In the haunted house, you might as well just have Greg put his hand in a bowl of eyeballs or something. Like,
yeah.
more haunted house about this, and more Halloweenist.
Also, super weird thing happens here where the entire book has been written in third person
Yes.
limited,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Where the main character is Greg and your POV is
Yes.
Greg. Suddenly it's third person omniscient and we're just in Sherry's brain.
Yeah, it was odd.
It was very weird. It was very weird. And again, it feels like R.L. Stine at this point was just like winging a prayer in it.
Just like
I got nothing more to say.
Just imagine R.L. Stine at his desk, like writing, and just the entire time he's writing these the final chapters, he's just saying this the entire time. And like doing shrugs occasionally, like
And here's how you can tell it's getting that way, right? Because they go in the house and there's a loud crash behind them, cliffhanger. Our first real in a while fake out where it's just the door closing behind them.
Yeah, they're back.
They're back. They're back. And it's like, it's not egregious, but it feels way worse because of how good the book has been up till now.
Yeah, now we know how good we can have it.
Right. And now it's like this part, the part we are in now feels more like the rest of, feels more like a Monster Blood.
Yes.
Than like, because, right? So they go down in the basement, they put the camera back. If it feels like I'm breathing through these chapters, I am. Not a lot happens. They go down in the basement, they put the camera back, and they are about to leave when Spidey appears, right? And there's a big lightning flash. Oh, it illuminates his face. He's old and has small round eyes and a small mouth, which I envisioned as very small eyes and a small mouth.
Hello, I'm Spidey.
They say his voice is younger and warmer than his eyes, which the narrator, I will say, does take to heart, right? So like the audiobook narrator does give him like a very soft-spoken affect, which I liked that. I don't think it's like it makes this part kind of odd, because now we're into an extremely long monologue from Spidey.
Yeah. Yes. Well, let's talk about Dr. Fritz Fredericks, aka Spidey.
Yeah, so he's Dr. Fritz Fredericks. He is he tells the kids they shouldn't have taken the camera, and for a minute there, it seems like he's totally fine with them like returning the camera. But then Greg's like that he reveals that he knows the camera is like not normal. He says it's broken, and Spidey's like, it's not broken, it's evil. It's the camera. He says it's evil. The word evil is used a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, the camera is evil. I should know. I helped to create it. Which, okay, it's not true even in his own monologue.
It's so good. What was the name of the person, his other...
I don't think he says it.
Yeah, he just
I
says
think
lab partner or something?
It says his lab partner. Unnamed lab partner.
Unnamed lab partner created the camera, but then Spidey figured out what it could do,
I guess,
and stole it. So this entire time I'm reading this, or I'm hearing this on the audiobook,
yeah,
and I'm thinking, oh, because I had completely forgotten the twist of this. And I was thinking, oh, okay, so this is more of like a science fiction type thing that they're going with. They have a camera,
yes,
that has like the ability to see into the future.
Yeah.
But then Spidey says that...
Oh, so yeah, so Spidey basically says that Spidey himself was evil, young and greedy.
Yes.
But my partner was much more evil than I. He says, quote, direct quote, my partner was a true evil one. He dabbled in the dark arts. Fuck me. Fuck me, R.L. Stine. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
So I interpret this to mean that scientifically, Spidey's lab partner made a camera that predicts the future.
Right.
And then because it was stolen, put an evil curse on the camera so that it made the future bad?
Yeah, I guess that's how it works, which is extremely funny to me. I just love the idea that, like, oh no, having a camera that can see into the future isn't bad enough. Like, or that can't create situations where, people would get,
I mean, you've got to find a reason for all this stuff to be bad, right? Because it has been, and at no point has Greg used the camera for a good purpose.
Right.
So you have to justify, I guess, why all this bad shit would happen, because it can't just be predicting the future, or Greg's had, like, the worst 2 weeks of his life. Like,
weirdly centered around all of the pictures that he's taking.
Yeah, but also you got to factor in the fact that it made Sherry fucking disappear.
Yes, 100%.
So then Spidey adds, some primitive people fear the camera. Which, okay. Okay.
That line shows up in the show, too, and I thought they were going to change it for the show, and they didn't change it.
They believe if it takes a picture, it will steal their souls. Well, this camera really does steal souls. Which, okay. So with the camera, okay.
What?
So the camera steals souls?
That explains one instance.
That's one. That's one. That does not explain any other thing the camera does, Spidey.
I just don't...
And, how does it determine what souls it's taking? Why was Sherry's soul taken and not Terry's?
This also feels incredibly Hideo Kojima to me.
Oh, this is hideous Kojima all over.
Because it's just like... you can practically see R.L. Stine... like reading something about how, like, this tribe was afraid. Like, that was a thing, right? It's like some tribe was afraid of a camera because they thought it would.
The thing is, like, I tried Googling this, like, where this came from.
Yeah.
And I can't find anyone that actually cites, like, a tribe that thought this.
Yeah,
like,
what the shit? So it's probably just fucking fake. It's probably not real.
It's probably bullshit. It's probably some fucking white dude in the past just said this and everyone believed it.
Yeah, it's the same shit with, like, you eat like 2 spiders every year in your sleep or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could argue that maybe some tribal groups didn't want their pictures taken.
Right.
But it probably isn't because they thought the camera's fucking magic.
Right.
They probably said, like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, just go away. I don't. And then they interpreted that in the most unforgiving way, or like in the most disingenuous, shitty way.
It doesn't even fucking check out because there's so many fucking pictures of tribesmen.
Yeah. Like, what? It's like, well, I mean, oh my god. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. Also.
It's bad. It's a bad thing to say. I mean, like, it's not R.L. Stine's fault, really, because it's a myth people believe.
Yeah.
Honestly, this whole monologue just makes the cameras less clear, to me, on how it works. Like, I thought I had it pretty well figured out, and now I don't know what it does or, like, how it works. Apparently, it also cannot be destroyed.
Yes.
So Spidey was, like, keeping it secret to protect people from it.
Great job, Spidey. You fucking did it.
Yeah, did a bad job, I must say. Like, why not just fucking bury it in the fucking woods?
Yeah,
like,
fucking Jumanji that shit. Like, fucking just bury that shit, or, like, throw it in the fucking ocean.
Throw it in a sewer.
Yeah, put shit all over it. No one would want to touch it then.
Yeah,
shit on it.
But so Greg and Sherry are like, okay, great story, bye.
We're gonna go.
But he won't let them leave because they know too much, and now he can never let them leave. And they're like, you can't keep us here forever, and he's like, I have no choice. What does that mean? Do you intend to keep them here forever, or are you threatening to kill them? I'm unclear on what Spidey wants to do at this moment.
Well, if they grow up eating nothing but Hungry Man dinners, they're gonna die anyway.
Like, because I guess his plan was just keep the camera in the basement forever. Like, it's
fucking what the fuck?
They get in a fight, and the camera goes off accidentally again, as it's done 3 times now.
Oh, I thought Sherry did it specifically.
Yeah, Sherry does it specifically. Sherry is grappling him specifically because Spidey has grabbed onto Greg, and is also holding the camera. So Sherry takes the opportunity to, like, bum rush him.
Yeah. And she takes the picture specifically.
Yeah, I assume that she like Goldberg tackled him. Like,
It's a very good image, a very good visual.
And they take this time to run away, and apparently, so they run away, and Spidey is just like fucking screaming. Like,
yeah.
I think this part for me does work. So like we've gone back around. I think that the past couple chapters, R.L. Stine was buying time because I think he probably had this ending in mind. Because I think the ending works and would have worked with the rest of the story as well. And I just feel like he was just trying to get here.
Right.
Because like Spidey's screaming, the kids run away, and they like turn around to see if he's chasing them, and he's not. He's just lying on the floor.
Yeah.
And he's fucking dead.
He's dead.
So this might be, since Welcome to the Dead House, our first like actual dead person in a Goosebumps book. Yeah. He is fucking
he's dead. He's 100% dead as a doornail. That dude is dead.
And the kids killed him, murdered him today.
100%.
They say his eyes are bulging out, his face is frozen in terror, and I think this is like this is pretty wild because like this would fuck you up if you were a child. Like,
yeah, like reading the
not
book
just
or
finding a dead person, but killing someone.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I thought reading it as a kid would fuck you up.
No, I don't think reading as a kid would mess you up so much. Yeah. I think that if you were Sherry in this moment, you'd be pretty fucked up.
Yes.
And they check the photo, and it's a picture of Spidey lying on the floor exactly like this. So apparently he just died of fright at the prospect of his photo being taken.
I love that that's just a photo. Like the camera just took a picture of Spidey.
Yep. I kind of like that idea that like the Spidey has spent so much of his life like paranoid about this camera.
Yeah.
And like never using it and never touching it, and it went off, and like the one time it happens, he's like, "Oh fuck."
Oh, my heart. My eyes are bulging out of my head.
So Greg puts the camera back in the fucking vice grip hiding place.
Yeah.
Which I hate that. I mean, like, I get it, but like I don't think it's very thoughtful, because if you found it, Greg, right? Like if you found it. So we cut to 2 days later, and the friends are back together. Gang's all back together. And Greg just says, "I hope no one finds out about that camera." Okay.
Cut to.
Well, so to clarify, so just in case anyone's wondering how this works out, so R.L. Stein's checked his own box for a Cinema Sins here, where he did include a part where Greg and Sherry told the police about the body, and that they claim they went to the house just to get shelter from the storm that had started, and found Spidey in the basement, which, okay.
Lying to the cops. Excellent.
And Spidey is said to have died of heart failure. I think technically in this scenario, he would have died of what's called Takotsubo's cardiomyopathy, which is typically what you refer to as someone who dies of a broken heart.
Oh.
But it also can happen when you are in a state of severe emotional distress from being frightened. Although realistically, he probably just had a fucking heart attack. Like you could just have an arrhythmia from, he's older. Probably heart doesn't work that great.
An arrhythmia from the one of fucking 20 goddamn Hungry Man dinners that he's been eating.
Yeah. I mean, he just might. The stress could just kill him that way. But Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, is fun fact, is named after. It's named specifically after an octopus jar that is used in Japan for catching octopuses. Octopuses. It's octopuses, and so that's why it's named after that.
That doesn't explain anything.
Well, sorry. It's because the heart looks like that shape.
Oh, okay.
I forgot. In my brain, I'd already said that. No, it's because your heart takes on a shape that looks like that looks like this octopus jar.
When it's under stress?
When it has this specific form of cardiomyopathy.
Oh, wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. The specifically one of the chambers gets enlarged and looks like this. But I would argue that given the way that he died, it probably was a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, probably.
In any case, they're like, I hope no one finds that camera. That was my medical tangent. I hope no one finds this camera. And they leave. Emerge emerge are two bullies. Remember them?
Remember them? Not the ones from Monster Blood.
Nope, the ones in this book.
The new
You
ones.
may have forgotten it. You may have forgotten it because the scene was so unimportant.
So nothing.
Which again, I feel like this is R.L. Stine having written this chapter first.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, fuck, I forgot to put the two bullies in here. Like, I have to write these characters in.
It felt more like, well, I need something to like... Oh, are you saying that he wrote like the twist ending? Like,
yes.
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, I'm there with you on that.
Like, and he just needed to have them established because they're established so late in the book. They just don't like... If I can give Monster Blood anything, the bullies are an important part of Monster
Yes,
Blood.
they show up more than twice.
Once. Yeah. So it's just weird. It's just, it feels incongruous. But they saw them hide the camera. They followed them to the house 2 days ago and they saw them hide the camera.
Oh boy.
They took the camera.
They take a camera.
They take a photo and they wait for it to develop, which I think is a decent ending.
Yeah. What is it? What does it show?
What's it gonna be?
And if I remember correctly, and if the wiki is correct, apparently they don't show up in the sequel, which, by the way, there is a Say Cheese and Die Again sequel.
Yeah, there's a big plot hole there, as I understand it.
Yeah, so what the fuck happened to them? But that's also kind of...
They're dead.
They're probably dead. Or they just disappeared.
Maybe their lives were utterly ruined and they became the new Spidey.
Alrighty. So that is Say Cheese and Die. Do we want to talk about the TV show?
Ryan Gosling,
Gosling's Goosebumps. So for anyone who doesn't know...
So this stars Ryan Gosling.
The TV show...
Sorry.
It's a little bit of a spoiler. Yeah, so Say Cheese and Die is the TV episode, Season 1, Episode 15. It aired February 9th, 1996. And it prominently features, in the role of Greg Banks, a tiny baby Ryan Gosling. And it is fucking weird. I didn't know it was Ryan Gosling when I started it. I had no idea. And as soon as I start it and I see this kid's face, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
And then I look it up and it fucking is. It's Ryan fucking Gosling. It's crazy.
It's wild. I gotta say, he does a good job in it.
Yeah.
He's easily one of maybe the best child actor we've had on Goosebumps to this point.
See, I was thinking that even before I realized it was Ryan Gosling, because he was doing a really good job with some of the other people that he was acting with. Especially the woman who plays his mom. Holy shit, she was terrible. it was really bad. Anyway, but
this also reminds me. So we have Ryan Gosling as Greg.
100%.
We have Bird.
Yes.
Okay. We do not have Michael.
Michael is gone.
He is gone.
Goodbye, Michael.
Michael's gone.
We hardly knew ye.
We have Sherry.
Yes, we do.
Is Sherry 80 yard?
Yes. I have that in my notes.
She sounds 80 yard.
100% 80 yard. There are moments where her mouth flap does not sync with what she's saying, and it's very obvious she's recording in like a sound booth.
Yes. Also, the actress sounds so bored of it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought the camera, because now you can take my picture.
Oh, sure. I don't think that's a good idea.
Come on. How's this?
No, you gotta listen, Cherry. There's something really freaky about this thing.
Will you just take the picture?
Take another photo, Greg. Wow, what a weird camera.
Yeah. I absolutely had that in my notes. That was so funny. So yeah, the show basically starts off. Okay, so there are a couple differences with the book, right?
Yeah.
One of the major differences is that we no longer have a haunted house. We know
the Kaufman house. Yeah.
The Kaufman house has been turned into what I can only describe as some weird ass industrial building.
Yes, it's like a factory.
Yeah, it's a factory of some sort.
And the kids are like out front looking at it, like we got to explore this place before they tear it down. So like they're urbexing, like
yeah, and like there's a fence there. They're looking at it through a fence, so it's like they're clearly like climbing the fence and then coming in. Also, I have in my notes at the very beginning, they're all three of them are staring longingly at this fucking weird ass building. It's very funny to me. Anyway,
I also think that like I can believe that kids in a small town would sneak into an old house.
Yeah, absolutely. An old house, 100%.
I cannot believe they would sneak into this factory.
No, like this factory looks like it's like conducting business.
Also, unlike the book, they see Spidey immediately.
Yeah.
Who looks exactly like Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, he looks like Doc Ock, and I also have in my notes, he also looks like just an old Quicksilver from the X-Men show.
Oh, sure. He looks like a steampunk scientist.
Yes. Yep.
So, like, one, you know he's there. So you wouldn't go in.
Right.
Two, it's fucking huge. It's a huge, like, industrial complex.
Yeah, it's really big.
You would not go there. So, but I also want to note that when the episode starts and Spidey comes out, Bird says, Spidey!
Spidey!
There he is.
Spidey.
Also, one of the discussions that happens immediately is, I heard he eats rats.
I heard it was cats.
I heard it was bats. and then what was his name? Bird, I think he says,
yeah.
Ew, tasty.
Yeah, tasty.
Ew, tasty. What the fuck?
I thought it was I got a laugh out of it, even though it's ridiculous. They go in and they only explore like one room, which is weird too, right? Like, you can't show me this giant place and then cut to them in one room, and that appears to be the entirety of this building. And they get in there, and Bird immediately sees a TV and goes, "Oh, cool TV!" Yeah.
It's the most 90s.
That's what you came here for?
It is the most 90s. This episode is extremely 90s. But
yes,
that
very
90s
much so.
When it was such a 90s cool, like,
cool TV.
It's fucking ridiculous. Also, I have to note real quick, right at the top, both Bird and Greg sound pretty fucking similar.
They do, yeah.
Like, I think they 80-yard some of that stuff, and they did it in a way where it was like, it was hard for me to tell them apart, especially when they were off screen doing dialogue.
The only one I could definitively identify was Sherry, because she would be like, "Wow, weird camera.
Yeah.
You better go explore this building, Greg."
It was 100%. Yeah, it was weird. Also, when Spidey runs off right before the kids go in, he kind of looks like he's dancing.
Yeah, he takes like really big steps. I think they told him about the way that he's supposedly moved in the books or whatever, and so he like really leaned into it. Also, his lair is like neon lit.
Yeah.
It looks like the sets from Batman and Robin.
It looks like the lair where the foot initiates go to in the TMNT.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where
it's like, it's very clear this is a lab.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Like, this is supposed to be a mad scientist laboratory.
Right.
Definitely. Like, this is a villain lives here.
Like, he is up to no good.
Yes. So also, Greg does not like naturally discover the camera. He actually leans on the clamp. Yeah. Which pops the camera out.
Which, hey, I'll take that. Okay.
I'll take it. It's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I buy that. I buy that more than like him running over and just fiddling with it. Also, okay. Gotta talk about the camera.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my god, this camera is the most ridiculous fucking thing I have ever seen.
It looks like it came out of fucking Lost in Space.
Yeah, it was Lost in Space. It looks like something that Batman would pull out from his fucking car to like use against like some guy.
First of all, it's the size of a fucking Taurus station wagon.
It is.
It's like huge.
It is the most unergonomic thing. Like,
yeah, and the viewfinder is like in the dead center of the the viewfinder is in the dead center. It does. How would you use this camera?
There's no way to properly use it, and the handle is like it's got like two rails on the bottom of it.
Yeah,
and it's like what What the fuck is this?
It looks like it's about to fucking take off into fucking space. Like it's gonna launch in a second.
It looks like a fucking drone.
Yes. So right off the bat, this is a sci-fi camera.
Yes.
This is not a magic camera.
No, it is.
And as will be established, this story has no magic in it whatsoever. But this is clearly a space camera.
Yeah. It's like fucking silver, dude. It's like everything about it is screaming like space.
Yes. So Bird goes to the stairs and tells him to take his picture. As he juggles. Which, hey, Bird, if I can think of one activity that you shouldn't take a photo of, it's literally juggling. This literally will not work.
Like maybe it'll catch one of the balls in the air, but you're not. Yeah, you're doing more of a video thing. He also does the cheddar thing, which is fucking infuriating.
Oh, he does the cheddar thing, but the juggling thing I thought was weird. Okay,
yeah.
Bird's only character trait in this episode is that he juggles. He juggles in every scene that he appears in. At all times, Bird is juggling. Yeah. Bird woke up one day and said, I want to become a new kind of guy. And the guy is juggler.
This kid's got circus in his future.
Same shit happens. He falls up the stairs. Okay. But unlike the book, Spidey actually appears in this scene.
Yes.
And the fucking funniest, incredible. Spidey appears and you think, oh, he's going to chase him, but we haven't found the exit. No. Spidey walks one step and then falls immediately off the stairs.
What are you doing here?
He just for no reason he's not juggling or leaning on a railing. He just walks down one stair and falls off.
And I want to say it's because Bird fell off in the same area, so that area was he didn't realize that there was no railing there because Bird had fucking broken through it. But he has such an incredible yell when he falls.
Yes.
Yes, and that pratfall is just the whole package.
I wrote down maybe it's because he's wearing welding goggles.
Yeah, he can't fucking see shit.
So they flee, and Greg doesn't realize he's taking a camera, which appears to weigh 50 pounds.
Oh, I didn't realize I had this fucking 50-pound thing.
Fucking cameras from space. All the same photo thing happens, except of course it Bird and doesn't really believe it, of course. And nor does Sherry, I don't think. Mm-hmm. They go home. And
we got to talk about that cool new car.
So this car, it is not a tourist station.
It is
wagon.
not.
It is if you Google car, it's car.
It's car.jpg. And not even JPG, it's car.jpeg.
Yeah, it's the definition of a car you buy in the 90s. It's a 4-door gray car.
It is just some Hyundai ass looking 4-door nothing.
Nothing.
And it's made even funnier because Greg is supposed to be Ryan Gosling
excited about it.
Is supposed to be excited about it. He's supposed to be excited. But then also they have to wreck the car for the show.
Yeah.
So no wonder they went with a lower cost car. Some bullshit.
Right.
It's just so good.
But I love so Greg sees a car. Enter Terry.
Okay. Yep. I know exactly what you're gonna say.
He goes, "Hey, troll."
Don't call me that.
And then Terry goes, "Oh, okay." Okay.
I thought he said, duh, okay.
Fucking rules. Okay.
Duh, okay.
Fucking rules.
Hey, troll.
Don't call me that.
Okay.
I love it. I love Terry in this.
I love Ryan Gosling, but he's kind of being upstaged by Terry.
By Terry. Also, Terry has blonde hair, which is long.
Yes.
So he could be Terry Bogard.
He reminded me of that one Hanson brother with the longer hair.
Yes. Or the one of the bullies in Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
And so Terry's like, "What do you think about Dad's new ride?" And Ryan Gosling goes, I think it's excellent. I think it's excellent.
This is the
No,
this is
you
the
don't.
prequel to Drive.
You don't think that.
You realize this, right? This is the prequel to Drive.
Yeah. Yes. This is where he learned. This is where he learned the skills.
Smash cut to fucking Ryan Gosling beating the absolute fucking shit out of Spidey with the fucking claw
Out of
hammer.
Spidey. Yeah, claw hammer in Spidey's mouth. So in this version of the show, Greg's just not hiding the camera at all.
No, yeah.
And Terry's like, "You take my picture at the car, bro," and so they do.
Which, by the way, we're passing over this real quick, but the way that Terry automatically just goes, "Oh, that's a camera," is like the most
cool
fucking
camera.
insane.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that
It's
though.
like, what the fuck is that? Are you gonna shoot me with a laser? What the fuck?
Yeah. Hey, bro, can you blow me up right now? Just fucking annihilate me.
Hey, bro, I really need some
vaporize me, please, bro.
Bro, I really needed an MRI right now. Oh, you got one of those portable MRI machines?
The camera looks like the machine they use to puff air into your face when you get your eye examined.
That is dude, I am 100% certain that is actually what it is. They like detached it and then like put some bullshit on it.
It might be.
It's got the handles.
The viewfinder looks exactly like that.
It's got the handles that make it look like exactly like that fucking thing, because it's not meant for you. It's meant for you to hold on to like make sure you don't like jerk around or anything.
Yep.
Dude, you called it. That's exactly what it fucking is.
I think that might be what it is. So they take the photo. Greg doesn't look at it yet. And then, okay, so this is what's weird, right? So the instead of just cutting to Greg in the room, it lingers on Terry. It lingers in the car in the driveway, okay? Terry clearly opens the car and gets in it. As if to leave. And I was just like, what? Why is he taking his dad's car? Cut to Terry coming into Greg's room and telling him dinner's ready.
Yep. Which, by the way, that was incredible. But also, Greg's dad is just Steve fucking Jobs. It's just,
oh my god.
It's just.
I was gonna note that when Terry comes in, he says, "Monsieur Troll, dude, last call for dinner."
Dude, I fucking love Show Terry. Show Terry is a fucking riot.
I love Show Terry. So the picture shows the car is damaged.
Yeah.
We get the good chicken exchange.
Yep. Mm-hmm. 1-to-1 to the book.
But then fucking dad's delivery of the car questions is so aggressive. Like, it sounds like he's mad no one's talked about the car yet. Because, like, they're talking about chicken and veal, and then his dad just goes, "So, what's everyone think about that new car?"
No one's fucking talking about it, and I spent a lot of money on that thing.
And then Greg's like, "I think it's excellent, Dad."
I think it's excellent.
But then he's, okay, so to avoid getting in the car, to avoid the car ride, okay?
Yeah.
Greg's responses are, he lists two reasons. The first is that he thinks his dad should take it back.
Mm-hmm.
Because, quote, "Just think of how you'd feel if you got a scratch on it."
Yep.
It's not a fucking Porsche. It's not like it's not a Lamborghini.
Oh, Ryan Gosling, are you talking about car.jpg in the fucking driveway?
I would think literally nothing of it if I got a scratch on that car. I would think, yup.
Oh,
about right.
The expected has happened. I'm surprised there aren't more scratches.
His follow-up is, besides, it's too shiny, it hurts my eyes. What? Fucking Greg?
Greg, you're doing this incredibly badly.
In my notes, I literally have, quote, "I cannot stress enough that it is just a car."
Oh, God.
The thumbnail for this
It should just be the car.
It's just be the car. Terry's like, "Greg's been acting weird," and then his mom says, "Have you been acting weird?"
Always go straight to the source.
They get in the car. Mom actually calls shotgun.
Yes.
During which time Terry steals her food.
Yep. Terry fucking eats that shit. Oh, it's so good.
We get more of that great car. Listen to that baby hum.
Oh, God.
Says Dad.
It's the most ridiculous shit that they're trying. They're
trying so hard to convince me that this car is good.
Is anything other than just the most bland nothing of a car.
Mom says, "I always wanted a car with a little muscle." It is a car.
It is nothing. Like, there is nothing special about it. Like, nothing. Like, this is the car that cops would use on a stakeout because no one would look at it.
Yes.
It would be invisible.
It's Terry's like, put the pedal to the metal, Dad. And then Dad's like, what speed limit? Greg is like desperately trying to show his family the photo right now. So actually Greg is the reason that they're distracted while driving.
Yep.
Because they turn around to look at him, but the photo flies out the car window.
Because he wasn't holding it. He was just kind of like loosely like
yep.
so that the wind from the car would fly
maybe
out,
roll up the window before you take the photo out, Greg. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But so the semi thing still happens, same thing. Plays out very similarly, except of course that it's Greg's fault, not his dad's. And then we cut to fucking amazing scene
that is immediately telegraphed as a dream sequence. Immediately,
immediately, because they have like fucking spooky dream music playing in the background,
and
the camera is at a Dutch angle,
and lines are happening on top of other lines, and
there's like slow motion, like yes, oh my god, yes.
Did you notice Terry in the background of the scene where he was dual wielding corn cobs?
Yes, I literally have it. I've written down Terry dual wielding corn cobs.
I love that so much. That should be the fucking thumbnail.
Yes. So this scene is a direct recreation of the cover.
Yes.
Greg's dad is wearing a chef's hat to grill, which is hilarious.
Yep.
Terry is, as established, dual wielding corn cobs. It's an amazing cover shot recreation. And then he takes the photo. Greg takes the photo, and they're like two-dimensional skeletons.
Yep. They were poorly drawn onto the Polaroid that was taken. And it's funny because when you do that, normally, like, you have to kind of erase the people that are there, because the skeleton would take up less space because they're, it's thinner and they're smaller.
Yeah.
So what they would do is like black out.
Also, you'd see through it.
Yeah, that too. They black out the people that are actually there, and then they draw on the skeleton on top of that.
Right.
And it just it's so fucking cartoony, and I love it so much. It's so good.
It's great. It's ridiculous. I love it.
It's like they drew the skeletons on with like white out.
This is another moment where the show is clearly having fun.
Yes.
And I like that.
Absolutely.
So we just forget this dream ever happened, basically, and cut to Bird, who is still fucking juggling. And Greg's like trying to convey that this camera is fucked up, and Bird's like, "I'll make a prediction. Tomorrow, men in white coats are going to come and take you away."
All right. That's all right.
Yeah. The bullies show up here, which is much better than in the book, to be honest. I mean, I guess we're maybe at the same like point in the story, kind of, not really, but like it feels more natural for them to be here, let's put it that way.
Right.
They also appear to be 20 years old.
Yeah. That was weird. Like, don't you guys have like a college class to go to? Or?
Yeah, aren't you guys in college, or do you need some credits today? They want to take the camera again, but this time we get an escape sequence with amazing action music, like stellar action music.
Well, because your face is gonna break the camera. You want that stupid smile to be permanent, fish? It's Bird. Run! Get them!
And they just like leap into Sherry's yard.
Yeah. And Sherry quickly notes to them, you guys could have just used the door.
But she's like, great, good that you're, I'm sorry. She's like, great timing. Now you can take my picture. How's this? Like, so she goes and takes the most boring pose of all time by a tree.
Yeah.
And so she's yet again not in the picture. Okay. But instead of dwelling on this at all, Terry just appears in this yard. Terry's just like, hey, Dad's car's been fucked up.
Yeah.
Like the like emotion of that is not conveyed at all. Like, it's not as tense or scary as the book in any way.
No.
particularly because the next scene we cut to the hospital, Terry's dad is fine, and like yucking it up, but Terry and Greg, Terry has signed his dad's cast.
Yeah, did you see what it said?
Yeah, you cracked me up.
You cracked me up. Signed, Terry.
Yeah,
Terry. I love Terry. Terry's great.
Yeah, I love Terry in this. It really does not seem as serious. I mean, like the car is totaled, so the camera thing is happening, but like it really does not come off as like the stressful thing it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I like this was fine, and I just feel like this episode is not. It's definitely not leaning into the horror elements of this story. Yeah, and it's definitely going for like the goofy parts.
Yeah, it's definitely yucking it up, which for a kids show is like I can understand why the people involved didn't want to go hard on like the stress, especially with like stranger danger and like the idea that kidnapping a girl and like her just disappearing. That might. I mean, that might be a little bit fucked up.
I would say it's like. If you think about the fact that Goosebumps aired on Saturday morning, that kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
Like Are You for the Dark aired on Saturday night, and it was scary.
Yeah, totally.
But like the Goosebumps episodes, not counting the VHS specials, aired on Saturday morning.
Yeah,
to my recollection.
I guess that makes more sense because I have in my notes that when Joey and Mickey were hassling Greg and Bird and them running away. It is the most Power Rangers that this show has ever felt.
Oh, very. Yeah.
And so they're really kind of leaning into that kind of stuff. So that makes a lot of sense when you say that it aired in the mornings.
Yeah, it just feels like this is like a lighthearted morning thing. Yeah. So we're not dwelling on how badly Greg's dad is fucked up.
Which is weird because I remember watching some of these. Like I remember specifically watching the Haunted Mask at night.
Yes, I did watch that at night, but also that was on VHS.
And that was a special. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But because I also remember Terror Tower aired on a weeknight, and I remember that because I had like a soccer practice or whatever, and I wanted to get home to watch Terror Tower as like a special like Thursday night event. But I know for a fact that I watch Goosebumps on Saturday mornings as part of the Fox Kids block. I know that.
Yeah.
For sure. So like, I don't know. But maybe the specials aired on different days.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. Anyway.
We cut to a fucking wild segment.
Oh my God.
This part is so nuts.
I feel like if you haven't seen this specific segment, I need to figure out, like, I hope it's on YouTube. And if it's not, I need to cut this specific segment out and post it either on Twitter or like on Patreon or something, just so that everybody can watch it and see it. Because like Mario isn't fucking around. This scene is fucking wild. It's crazy. If it reads like a parody of something.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if any person in it agreed with the other person about what show they were making. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like Ryan Gosling is clearly being the protagonist in a Fox Kids Saturday morning TV show, right?
Right.
So he's like, okay, so the scene is that the police have come to Greg's house.
Yes. Sherry has gone missing.
Sherry is missing. The police have shown up. It's definitely not Officer Riddick, okay, as described in the book. I can only describe the detective as, imagine if the chief from Carmen Sandiego was in Predator 2. Was one of the cops in Predator 2.
That is extremely effective. You have conjured an image in my mind that is 1-to-1 with this woman.
Like, she looks like a sci-fi detective in like a cyberpunk noir story.
Yeah. And she is right next to what I can only...
the most generic policeman ever.
Yeah, much like a car.jpg. You've got cop.jpg. He's complete with sunglasses. He's got
at night.
At night, absolutely at night, because of course. Like he reads like a cop from Reno 911. Like he actually looks like Dangle, but actually in clothes, in like cop clothes.
And he acts like he's playing the fucking Terminator.
Yeah. What the fuck is that about?
He's like the fucking T-1000. It's bizarre. It's wild. So they're like, we're here to about Sherry. Something bad's happening to her. And Ryan Gosling's like, I knew it. And the detective's like, you knew it? Like, and he's like, I knew it because you guys were here. And then the other cop's like, are you fucking lying to me? Listen, are you fucking hiding me? Like, I'll fucking kill you.
Fucking shit.
I just have a note. It's like, can we take it easy? He's fucking 12. like T-1000 is like interrogating this child. Okay. Cyberpunk cop is like, I don't know what she's doing. She's
just asking questions, man.
Yeah, she's just asking the questions. Because he's like, the last time I saw her was on Saturday. When it was the party. I took a picture of her. And she's like, oh, a picture. Well, I have to see that. Let's see that picture.
He's like, well, I don't know. He's holding the fucking picture.
The other cop's like, show me the fucking picture.
He's holding the picture for some weird reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And she immediately goes like, well, that's the picture right there. Let me see it. And he's like, well, I don't know. It's like, well, are you withholding evidence, you little fuck?
The other cop's like, I'm going to fucking draw my gun in a minute if you don't give me that fucking picture.
And one of the reasons why this reads so fucking strangely is because, and this has happened multiple times at this point, there is like an extreme close-up on on the sunglasses cop's face. And it happens, I counted 5 times, where they'll be talking and then suddenly it'll smash cut to this dude, extreme close up where you can see Ryan Gosling in the reflection of his sunglasses with this accompanying sound effect. Done.
Do you know Sherry Walker?
Sherry? Yeah, she's one of my best friends.
When was the last time you saw her?
Yeah, it feels like we are supposed to be afraid of this cop, which, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's also the 90s. It's like 90s kids TV. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, and these cops in this show are not part of the monster.
Right.
Like, it's so weird. The tone is so weird.
It is, for our purposes, it is impeccable. It is.
It's great. I mean, it's like I was watching it like, wash over me like a cool wave. Like
truly.
I want to bask in this feeling.
Oh man, I just want to watch it again.
Literally at the end of this, the cop is the glasses cop T-1000 is like, you better not be lying to us, because if you are, we'll find out. What the fuck is that?
Okay, I guess this child is one of your key suspects.
Prime suspects, yeah. And then they leave in what I am pretty sure is Greg's dad's car.
I need to watch that again.
It is an identical car.
Oh my god, I need to watch it. They only had one. They only had the budget for one.
They had one car.
It's like, look, we got one car and we got to total it. Let's shoot this out of order. And oh my god.
Also, they leave and walk directly past Spidey, who is hiding behind a tree. Not hiding well. He's just behind a tree.
Yeah, in my notes I love how cops didn't notice middle-aged Quicksilver hiding behind a tree as they left.
I have the police leave in what appears to be Dad's car, just not caring about the steampunk scientist in Greg's yard. Cut to Bird, who is still juggling.
Literally, my notes, I have Bird is constantly juggling. What the fuck?
I wonder if that was in the script or if the actor was dude, I need to give my character something.
It's totally the actor. The actor showed up on the fucking set and was like, all right, I can do my lines. You know how well I can do my lines? I could do them while I'm juggling. And then he just juggles.
That's fucking wild. Greg has determined the camera predicts the future and makes it bad.
Yes.
And then he tears up the photos and throws the camera, but it does not break. And he's like, that's weird. There's not a scratch. Yeah, it's made of like industrial grade space metal. Like, no fucking wonder.
You got a stainless steel fucking camera, you idiot. I want to edit that scene where he throws the camera, because when the sound effect for it, when it hits the ground, is just like a plastic, like, I want to fucking edit that where I take that sound out and just replace it with like a metal Kong.
Yeah. Yes. I would also like to know, I did like the fact that in this episode, as opposed to Monster Blood, Greg specifically says that he will not throw the camera away because someone else might get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they might use it. And I think that's good. It's good that our protagonist cares.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
And then, so Greg asks Bird if he'll come with him to take it back. And Greg's like, well, I got a lot of stuff to do with my dad today. I got a lot of stuff to do with my dad.
Quote,
and then
quote,
Greg's like, you're going to put all this on me?
Yeah. But before that, Bird specifically says, I got a lot of stuff to do for my dad. A whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. So Greg goes to Spidey's place for in the camera, and Sherry is just fucking there.
Yep.
She's like, I came back, and Bird told me about the thing you were talking about. And because I had not read the book yet, and because she's ADR'd and delivers her lines like, Bird told me about the thing you did. I was like, is she fucking like a ghost? Like, what is happening? Am I supposed to be like scared now? Like,
has Sherry been compromised?
Is she is she a photo person now? What's happening?
A creature of the photo.
But anyway, yeah, she returned when they tried the photograph. Greg shines his flashlight like directly in her face.
It's a product of bad lighting, because in order to light the scene and have the flashlight, you have to expose for one or the other. So they wanted you to know that it was her and her face, but the only way for them to be able to do that was to shine the light directly in her eyes the entire time.
It's hilarious. I can't remember why it happens, but I do just have a note that there are some random cat stock sound effects that play at this moment.
I have, this is from my notes, they managed to use every single stock cat yowling sound effect known to man in this one scene.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Yeah, I know. Bird told me. I couldn't let you do it by yourself.
Thanks. Come on, let's get this over with.
It's got it all. It's got it's got it's got it all. They're all here, kids.
It's like they took the one cat like sound effect like that has all of them in it, just the string out, and then .mp3, like cat yowling string out .mp3, and just put it all in there and didn't cut it up at all. It's so good. Wonderful. It's so wonderful.
They go inside and someone's like, I don't see Spidey, at which point he instantly appears. So we wasted no time on that one. And he appears, the camera cuts like really close, like in close up, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing the primitive tribes fear the camera. And then it does like a weird hard cut edit to like where it seems like he's just like talking over himself.
Yeah. I have in my notes that this whole confrontation scene seems like it was shot like a dream sequence.
It's so weird.
It's very odd.
Primitive tribes fear the camera. They believe that if it takes their picture, it will steal their soul. This camera is far worse. Far worse. Far worse.
Like it feels like they cut a pause out.
Yeah.
And very clearly you can tell they cut the pause. Like it's so strange. But then he goes, they believe that if the camera takes a picture, it will steal their souls. This camera is far worse, far worse, far worse. And I say that way because it fucking echoes. Like,
why?
I don't know.
I want to say the editor was having fun, but I don't know.
So they give him the camera back. He says he expected them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Basically insinuates he made the camera. So in this version, he did make the camera. Specifically, they ask if he invented it, and he says, do you think I've always been a wretched creature slinking about at night? Do you always think I've been a miserable pile of secrets?
Nice.
So, the camera in this definitively makes the future happen.
Yes.
I don't know. I just have a note that says Spidey wears goggles for no reason. I don't know why. So he still let them leave because they know too much.
Yep. Same thing.
He tries to kill Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Yet again, Sherry takes the photo. In this one, however, I just have noted that Spidey is fucking transmogrified.
Yes. I have in my notes, this is all in caps. What the shit just happened to Spidey?
He gets fucking zinked into the camera.
he gets Star Trek warped inside the fucking camera.
Yeah, yes.
And then it turns around and oh my God, he in the camera.
Yeah, he is literally in the camera now. Trapped there forever, except that.
Trapped there forever, or it would have been forever, if not for...
About 40 seconds later, when the bullies come in, and again shines the flashlight directly in his friend's eyes.
So good.
They take a photo with the camera again, and instantly Spidey is like out of the camera and like menacingly arises behind them.
Which, how does that work? Whatever.
I don't know.
It's just like,
I don't think it's as good an ending as the book at all.
No, it absolutely isn't, because it's like, wait, hold on. The camera is the evil one. The camera is the thing that wants to steal souls.
Right. Why is Spidey the cliffhanger ending?
And also, why did the camera let Spidey out?
Yeah. It implies that if any person had taken the photo, Spidey would get out. And then also that Spidey getting out is somehow important. Like, it doesn't matter if Spidey gets out or not.
Yeah, he's just going to hide the fucking camera and make sure no one uses it again.
Yeah, this is a big win for Spidey, except that he has to deal with these two dumb kids. Like,
yeah. Like, if anything, the bigger cliffhanger is the one from the book where, the kids
absolutely.
Found it, and then what the fuck are they going to get up to? So
the problem is the camera being out in the world taking photos.
Yes.
The problem is not that Spidey exists.
We haven't mentioned it, but I love the fact that this is a monster. Quote unquote monster. This is an evil entity that this book, Goosebumps book covers, where the way to not be affected by it, or the way to make sure that no one gets affected by it, is to just not use it.
Yeah.
Is to just make sure
absolutely. Just don't use it.
Just walk away from it. Stop clicking the fucking shutter button.
It's not like you're compelled to use it for any reason.
Right.
It's not like it's not making you use it. So no, you just don't have to do it.
Just don't. Just don't.
Greg could have definitely kept the camera and just never used it again.
Exactly. Like the problem with Monster Blood is that even if you tried to hide it, it would keep getting bigger and bigger and more of a problem.
Right.
And like hiding it is like the exact opposite of what you should do, which is tell people about it, and maybe you figure out how to contain it. But this one is literally just, no, put it in a closet and forget about it. So
yeah, just don't bother with this fucking camera.
Yeah, just fucking
put
it away, throw it away.
Yep.
So anyway, So I guess we can do your patented review.
Okay.
And then I actually went through all of the books we have, and I gave them my own score.
Okay.
So let's do yours first with Mario's patented review TM.
Okay, Mario's patented review TM. Okay, so relatability kid zone. Now, originally I said 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll up it to 7.
Ah, not bad.
Because I do think that these kids feel real.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments that feel fairly true to how kids behave.
Yeah, I think the interactions with Michael feel pretty legit.
Yeah, I think Greg feels like a relatable protagonist in ways that some of the other kids have not felt.
Yeah, Bird is way too annoying to be real.
Yeah.
No one would want to be around him.
Yeah, Bird sucks. He's for a scariness factor, I will say it is an 8. I think that its imagery is really solid and like existentially dready, you know? I'm into it. I'm into this.
Yeah,
this is good.
Absolutely.
This is good. Even if a camera, even you could easily deal with it. It's not like a 10 out of 10. It's not the scariest thing I've ever heard. Right. But it is effective when it gets going. And I gotta say, for the Goosebumps factor as to how Goosebumps R.L. Steiny it is, if that metric is how often does R.L. Stein do some really dumb shit? Like, how often does he fall into like bad fake out writing, goofy crap that just doesn't like that you know, you're just like, oh my god, this is some dumb stuff right here, kids. I have to say, this is like, I did a control F on how many fake outs there were. I think it would be like a 5.
Wow.
Monster Blood was like a 3,000.
Yeah.
It was like huge. This is a very reasonable number. This is a very manageable number of times you would go, oh, okay, all right, come on.
Yeah, that feels right.
So, Bob, what are your reviews of these past 4 books?
So I'll keep it quick, but I gave Welcome to Dead House an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think Stay Out of the Basement, I gave a 7 out of 10, or maybe a 7.5. I need to revisit that.
I understand. Yeah. Okay.
Monster Blood, 4 out of 10.
Generous.
Yeah, I'm waffling on like 3 out of 10 potentially, but one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I want to, at the very end of once we get through all of the books.
Like kind
I want to yeah. So I'll adjust these
be able to,
based on some other stuff that happens. Maybe, Monster Blood 4 is going to give me some perspective. But
okay.
Say Cheese and Die is in there with 9 out of 10.
All right. Okay.
This book, this audiobook and the show were a treat.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
them. It
them.
scared me at the beginning, and it went to an incredibly goofy place at the very end. The very, very end. But everything in the middle felt like I was actually interested in it, and I wanted to know like what happens. It was damn good. Damn good.
I enjoyed it immensely.
I am so happy that this happened, that it turned out this good.
Yes.
Because again, and as I said in the previous episode, Say Cheese and Die is like quintessential Goosebumps.
I agree. This is like, I think I messaged you about this too. Like when I was reading it, what I thought was, okay, this is what Goosebumps is.
Yes. This
is what Goosebumps is.
100%.
Like it's a pretty compelling, lightly spooky, very kid oriented, but like relatable, engaging story.
Yeah.
With these like small town monster spooky things. I was very on board with this.
Absolutely. I think that more Goosebumps books should be centralized around like this kind of a concept. Like,
yeah, yes. And like I could have kept reading a billion bad Monster Blood books. That's fine. But like I'm so glad that they're not like this.
I'm glad that there are more that there are more in the Monster Blood series, the Monster Blood line.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the rest of the series isn't just going to be that fucking shit.
Yeah. Shall we describe the cover of the next book, which is The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb?
Do you want to do alternate titles first?
Oh, shit. Yes. Okay. You go, and then I'll go.
Okay. What is a good dumb title for this? How about, oh no, my car.
Bad car, shitty car, bad car, not good. It's okay. What about shutter speed?
Ooh, like SHUDDER? Oh, there you go.
Or how about don't rifle through a homeless person's belongings.
Leave homeless people alone with an exclamation mark at the end. What about like f-stop?
F-stop.
Because f-stop is it's a camera term. But what about h-stop for your heart?
Okay.
That's pretty dumb.
They're all dumb.
What's a good? Yeah, that's true. I mean, we are competing with Say Cheese and Die, but
the problem is this is an unusual one because R.L. Stein's already done the dumbest title possible.
Yeah.
And it's the best title. You can't make a better one than this. Ched die.
Say cheddar and die.
Chedded.
Oh God. All right, I think that's enough.
Okay.
You ready to predict the twist?
Oh yeah. Okay. So the cover of this book, let's just say that real quickly, is it's a mummy. I mean, let's just not beat around the bush. It's a mummy. It's a good looking mummy. But it is a mummy. It is a mummy standing in front of a stone. The caption is "What will wake the dead?" Well, based on that, maybe the twist is like a real loud fart. Like a real loud fart in the night.
This is one of those books where I had it as a kid, but I never read it.
I had a journal with this on it.
Yeah. Maybe I did too, and I'm misremembering.
Oh man, what could the twist be? Maybe the main character is a mummy. That seems very easy, but then again, it is a Goosebumps book,
true.
so it's not zero possibility.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, the cool thing about a mummy is that there can be someone underneath, like like a Scooby-Doo episode. Maybe that's the twist.
Yeah.
It's Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo under
So do you think that it'll be like the book will be like maybe the mummy is fake and then at the end the mummy will be real?
Yeah, but a different kind of monster.
Oh, okay.
Like underneath the wrappings, it's like...
It's Dracula.
Yeah, it's Dracula, or it's like...
It's Dracula. He's like, I just do this on the weekends.
Yeah, exactly. I just cover myself up because I'm scared. of the sunlight. I think this is also one where the cover went through a couple revisions. Where I think Jacobus was messing around with whether the eyes should be glowing or not. Like some of the versions,
yes, absolutely
did not have the glowing eyes. So.
I think it's just difficult. It's difficult because you look at it and you think, oh yeah, it's a story about a mummy. Got it. Yep. Got it. Yep. Okay. Sounds right.
Look, we all know it's not going to be.
Yep.
We all know it's not going to be the Mummy. So.
Right. It's like okay. Right. Okay. So I am predicting either the entire book will be them saying the Mummy is not real, and at the end it will be real, or scratch that, reverse it. At the end of the book, the Mummy is the character's mom in disguise.
I can see that.
And she's just a fucking freak.
A fucking freak.
A fucking freak.
You finally did. You found a way to get it in there.
I did it. I got it in there.
You organically got it in there.
Like a fucking freak.
Alrighty. I really wish this fucking hot rod would quit doing circles around the apartment complex.
Well, it's Saturday. It's when the day of the week when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta let everybody know your dominance.
You gotta let them know.
Come on, y'all. I'm dominant. Come on. I'm dominant.
I'm dominant. It's me. I'm dominant.
I'm alpha. Come on. Please. I want to be alpha.
I want to be alpha. Did you see? I tweeted earlier that the Facebook post I saw that was like, when you were a kid, you wanted to be Goku.
Yes, I saw that.
When you're an adult, you understand Vegeta.
What is?
That's exactly what that's like. When you understand, as I'm driving my hot rod around the apartment complex.
Oh, dude, that's perfect.
I understand Vegeta.
Whenever I see someone who like is a quote unquote alpha or one of those fucking shitty like people, I'll be like, I bet that dude understands Vegeta.
He understands Vegeta.
That guy understands Vegeta. Me, I don't get him.
Me, I understand Majin Buu because I love cookies.
Me, I understand Kid Buu because I'm a little fucking shit.
I suck.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. The car is gone.
Clap, clap.
Clap, clap. You're supposed to sync it, but whatever. Oh my... It's back! This guy understands Vegeta to a DNA level, a molecular
This guy
level.
gets Vegeta.
This guy fucks Vegeta.
Let's start the podcast there.
Yeah, perfect.
This guy fucks Vegeta.
Hey, everybody, welcome to You Can't Scare Me. This guy fucks Vegeta.